Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto was fallen angel in Final Fantasy. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Hakureisaiga and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Take this, Sephiroth. Omni/version 5. A blonde-haired man shouted as his gigantic cleaver glows in a holy gold color and flung it at the long silver-haired man who was floating in the air with a 7-foot-long katana in his hand. This man had many names. The Heartless Angel, the One-Winged Angel. It all started with the Calamity Genova. Scientists discovered her and took some of her cells, implanting them into individuals called Soldier. Sephiroth was the best first-class soldier, along with his friends Genesis Rhapsodos, Angeal Huli and later on Zack Fair. When Genesis turned rogue and Angeal died by his student Zack's hand, Sephiroth was saddened by the loss of his friends and confused of Genesis's cryptic words. Soon in Nibelheim, he found out that he was created with Genova cells in his body when he was just a fetus. He soon began to hate Shinra and over time, he began to hate everything. Sephiroth fought against Zack, his friend, and was defeated by a 16-year-old blonde Shinra trooper. That boy is the man that he is fighting today. His name is Cloud Strife, after his fight with Sephiroth. He was taken by Professor Ho-Ho, a madman, and had Genova cells implanted in his body. He fell into a coma due to Mako poisoning, and Zack was the one who broke him out, also having Genova cells implanted inside of him. When he awakened, he found Zack with bullets in his body. Zack gave him his Buster Sword, which once was his mentor Angeal's and Cloud's personality, mannerisms, memories and fighting style imprinted of Zack's. Soon he joined the group Avalanche and fought against Shinra with his friends. Sephiroth, presumed dead, came back and used the black material, meteor, to destroy the planet. His closest friend, Aerith, who was once Zack's girlfriend, cast the spell Holy to have the planet protect itself, and her life was lost by Sephiroth. Cloud in the livestream killed Sephiroth's existence, and Cloud becomes somber and dark, blaming himself for the deaths of Zack and Aerith. Soon he, along with other men, women and children, contracted a disease called geostigma, which makes the immune system overcompensate, trying to fight it and secretes a black ooze. Cloud happened to experience hallucinations and seizures while the geostigma acted up. Soon 3 manifestations of Sephiroth representing his physical strength, his allure and calmness, his cruelty and insanity showed up. Their names were Laz, Yazoo and Kadage. Kadage, the leader, absorbed his mother's cells, causing Sephiroth to be recreated. The battle between the two adversaries was coming to an end, but with a different ending. The hidden blades in the blonde-haired man's sword flew out to surround Sephiroth, and the blonde began to fly around, grabbing each sword, cutting into Sephiroth's flesh. As the blonde-haired man grabbed the last sword, Sephiroth thought, no, it can't end like this, I will never be a memory. I will not lose. Cloud Strife Sephiroth's will allowed him to block the last strike and made a huge shockwave. That shockwave created a hole through time and space, making the two disappear from their world, only to appear in another one. Unnamed world. A particular place was in chaos. On the day of October the 10th, a monster appeared. A demon named Kyuubi no Kitsune suddenly attacks one of the 5 great villages, the village hidden in the leaves, also known as Konohagakure. This world was not technologically advanced, but it was compensated by the use of chakra. It was like the livestream, only it was not ethereal at all. The people in this world practiced the way of the ninja, much like Cloud's hyperactive friend, Yuffie Kisaragi. They practiced many arts such as ninjutsu, kinjutsu, jinjutsu, taijutsu and fuinjutsu. Don't let the fox take another step, we must hold out for the yondaime to deal with it. Suddenly a giant toad appeared to face the Kyuubi with a blonde-haired figure with a tan cloak, with orange flames on the bottom, stood on top of the toad's head. Beside him was a small child that has his features. The yondaime looked at the boy. I am sorry I have to place this burden on you, my son. I want you to survive. I have had a full life already, and it is your turn to do the same. I love you very much, Naruto, and just know that your mother and I will be watching you always. The yondaime turned to look at the beast and whispered, I know that you are not in control of yourself, Kyuubi, but watch over my son, please consider it a last request. The man flipped through hand signs, Shishio Fuin. Then he flipped through another set of hand signs, Haki no Fuin Shiki. The yondaime thought, now for the last and very difficult part. He shouted, Shiki Fujin. Then the Shinigami appears behind the man and said, what the fuck? I was not supposed to get your soul until he pulled out a clock for his sleeve and said, 75 years, 18 days, 32 hours, 22 minutes and 15 seconds. What happened? The man nodded to the Kyuubi, and the Shinigami said, damn it, I hate it when things don't go in plan. You are not even an evil soul at all either. The man said, I agree, Shinigami-sama, but I have no choice. Let's begin. The Shinigami nodded and placed his arm inside of his stomach, and the blonde man shouted, Gamabunta, go now. The toad complied and ran at the beast and stabbed it in its shoulder. The fox roared and retaliated by slashing at the toad, which caught the toad's eye with a scar. The yondaime jumped onto the Kyuubi's head and the Shinigami with the help of the yondaime Hokage extracted the beast's soul. Suddenly a black hole opened above them and two figures came out. One of them had silver long hair making the man almost feminine and a 7-foot-long katana, and the other was a blonde-haired man with blue glowing eyes dressed in black with a giant sword. The two fell in the middle of the ceiling and were caught, sealing along with the beast. "My job is done," Shinigami said sadly, and the blonde said, "Can you get those two men out?" The death god shook his head, "Unfortunately that would free the beast and you don't have enough energy to redo the seal. I will not eat you, mortal, merely keep you in suspended animation until you are needed most." The man nodded and the Shinigami took his soul and the blonde closed his eyes being at peace. Thus the yondaime Hokage, Minato Namikaze, the Kiroi Senko died peacefully. "Council room, we should kill the boy to compensate for the lives of our lost ones," Fugaku Uchiha shouted. Most of the civilians on the council agreed with the Uchiha. Tsume said, "No, that boy is not the Kyuubi, he is the savior of this village, damn it." Inoichi continued, "I agree with Tsume-san, the boy should be treated with respect and not discontent." Danzo replied, "We should use the Kyuubi's power and make him a weapon." The Ashi stated, "And make him a senseless weapon devoid of emotion to kill us without any sense of right or wrong. We have seen how the Foundation acts and it could potentially make the boy kill us without any remorse." The clan heads and civilians along with Danzo and the elders clashed against one another to decide the fate of young Naruto Uzumaki until one man decided to end it. "Enough," an old man shouted. That old man was the reinstated Sandaime Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the god of shinobi, and the professor. "We will not kill the boy and we will not make him into a senseless weapon. Instead of isolating the boy, we should treat him like he is, a human like you and I decree that the younger generation will not be told, including Naruto, about the Kyuubi, or else that adult will be put to death publicly and his or her lands will be stripped from him, including their clan status, is that clear? This is an S-rank secret." The civilians grumbled a bit but reluctantly nodded to Sarutobi's demands. Fugaku seethed in anger as well as Danzo for not getting his weapon. So thus the life of Naruto Uzumaki began, but one of the civilians, a certain pink-haired bitch, let it slip that the boy was the Kyuubi and for the first 3 years of Naruto's young life was hell for him. But in an orphanage, his life was in danger by poisonings, beatings, stabbings and stoning. Until the 4th year, Naruto was currently being chased by a mob on his birthday, but that was also the day that his life would change forever. "No. Leave me alone, don't hurt me," Naruto shouted at the mob that menacingly came on him. The mob sneered as they pulled out pitchforks, kitchen knives, metal rods and staves to hit him with. One of the men came up behind the boy and held him tightly for the villagers to hit him one by one. Naruto screamed in pain as the blows rained down on him until a blow came to his head, rendering him unconscious. Mindscape Naruto groggily opened his eyes to see that he was no longer in the alley, but a place that resembled a place with broken buildings and mortar. "Hello, anybody here? Oji-san, where are you?" "Ayumi-san. Tuchi Oji-san," the timid boy asked. The boy heard sniffling and he followed the sound to find a cage. Inside there was a 15-year-old girl that had flaming red hair and an orange kimono. Naruto approached the cage and asked, "Why are you crying?" The girl looked up with her crimson-slitted eyes that were puffy, "Because I caused you so much pain," she sobbed. Naruto looked confused, "Huh? But you look too pretty to do anything bad." The girl replied, "I wasn't in control of myself. An evil person hypnotized me and made me attack. Now I'm stuck inside you and people believe that you are me." Naruto said, "Who are you?" The girl sniffed, "I am the Kyuubi no Kitsune." Naruto said, But you are supposed to be dead." The girl shook her head, "No, the yondaime had no way of releasing me from my hypnosis, so he had to seal you into me. I am so sorry." The boy tensed up as another voice heard, "You are just like me." The boy turned to see a silver-haired man with green cat-like slitted eyes, carrying a 7-foot-long katana. "Who are you?" Naruto asked, feeling the power radiating off of him. "I'm Sephiroth, I happened to be sealed inside of you along with another person when the yondaime was in the process. I have seen your life through your eyes, you are just like me. We are both misunderstood of our gifts, our strength. I will train you to learn to be calm and collected in battle. You will be able to think on your feet, think ahead 3 steps before your opponent strikes. Do you want that power?" Naruto said, "Yes, I want to be able to protect myself." Sephiroth said, "And you shall come and meet the boy." Suddenly a blonde-haired man with blue eyes dressed in black with a huge sword strapped to his back. "It is nice to meet you, my name is Cloud Strife and I will teach you to wield my sword, first Tsurugi, along with the 6 parts that can be wielded as swords. I have watched your life too, and I see that you were helpless to defend yourself. You will learn to exact justice and defend your friends as well as yourself from enemies. Understood? Cloud thought, and I can't allow you to turn completely like Sephiroth, Naruto, or else you will become insane. Naruto nodded in awe at the two Souliders. Naruto smiled, but then his eyes start to itch and burn a bit. He began to rub them until he looked back at them for Cloud to gasp and Sephiroth to raise an eyebrow. It seems that we have influenced his genetic structure by being sealed in him, Sephiroth said in monotone. Naruto said, huh? Cloud said, basically your eyes have changed, you see, we have a certain energy called Mako. It is infused into our bodies along with Genova cells. Sephiroth said, Genova is my mother, but I was given birth by a woman named Lucretia. Cloud said, due to the cells and Mako inside you, you have more stamina and cognitive ability than normal people. The Mako along with the Genova cells affects the eyes and tries to change you into a potential Sephiroth, so your eyes will be a mix of blue and green, your iris will be slitted like a cat and glowing. Naruto said, so my body acts like Sephiroth sensei, but my mind is still me, right? The two nodded and Sephiroth said, and there is one other thing, the Genova cells have a tendency to give out wings. Naruto said, huh? Then a pain shot through his back and he dropped down, gritting his teeth as a black wing popped out on his left side of his back, but to Sephiroth's and Cloud's surprise, another wing, a white wing, shot out of his right side of his back. Well, that is interesting. Sephiroth said. Naruto turned to look at Kyuubi, who was still sniffling, and the boy went inside the cage and bent down to wipe her tears away. Kyuubi said, what? Naruto smiled, my Nissan said that pretty lady should never cry. I don't blame you at all, you were not in control of yourself, and if it weren't for you being sealed, then I would not be trained by these two guys. So I should really be thanking you. Kyuubi said, but I. Naruto said, my family could be still alive, but even if they are dead, I know that they love me no matter what happens. Kyuubi smiled through her tears and whispered, thank you, Naruto-kun. I will help you train and become Hokage. You will be learning to track, deception, and cunning to your enemies. I don't want a weak jailer, and I don't want you to die either. Naruto nodded and Kyuubi said, it is time for you to wake up. You are now in the hospital and the old Hokage is worried sick about you. Naruto nodded and Sephiroth said, we start tomorrow. Naruto faded back from his mind to wake up. Naruto the 4-year-old woke up to find out that the old man Hokage was sitting by his bed with a worried look on his face. Naruto, are you alright? The Hokage asked. Naruto looked around and asked, where am I? Sarutobi said, you are in the hospital, we found you unconscious and we apprehended the ones who did this to you. Naruto turned to him, I don't like hospitals. Sarutobi said, I know. Naruto said, Oji-san, why didn't you tell me that the Kyuubi was sealed inside me? Sarutobi stiffened, how did you find out this, Naruto? Naruto said, when I fell unconscious, I drifted into my mind and found out that the Kyuubi was sealed inside of me. Sarutobi sighed, you were not supposed to know about its presence until you were older or a genin. How do you feel about it? Naruto said, I don't know what to feel. I can use her chakra to defend myself, but my family is dead because of her inability at that time. Sarutobi said, wait, it's a she? And what do you mean by inability? Naruto explained, Oji-san, wasn't it weird that the Kyuubi would suddenly just show up and attack Konoha? Sarutobi said, yes, that is weird. Naruto said, do you know about anybody who has the ability to control demons? Hiruzen thought about it for a second and said, yes, my mentor Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage, happened to have the ability to control the Biju with his bloodline. Naruto closed his eyes for a moment. The Kyuubi said that the person who controlled her had red eyes with 3 tomo marks around the iris, but it soon morphed into an eye with 3 bars, and the 3 tomo were hollow and merged together. Sound familiar? Sarutobi said, the Uchiha clan. According to my mentor's stories of his battles, there has been only one person who has the Sharingan and the ability to summon the 9 tails Uchiha Madara, but if that is true, he should be dead. Naruto said, maybe he somehow gained a way to become immortal or something. Sarutobi thought, that is possible, Orochimaru was trying to do the same thing. The Sandaime said, then he must be the one who brought the Kyuubi here. He loathed Hashirama and challenged him to a battle, he lost, and it was believed that he died. Naruto gripped his sheets, I have decided, Oji-san, I decided to become a ninja. So he is the one who caused all of this, if he is indeed immortal, I will definitely kill him. Sarutobi said, are you sure you want to run down this path? Naruto said with conviction, I will kill him, Sarutobi Oji-san, him and every aspect of him. Sarutobi said, fine, then, it will take some time, but I believe I can get you in the academy to be taught. And thus the legend of Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki, the Angel of Death was born. 8 years later Naruto Uzumaki always sat in class next to Hinata Hyuga. Over the years, he began to resent the Uchiha clan all except one person, Itachi Uchiha. Itachi was the only one who Naruto respected and admired. When he heard that the Uchiha clan had been wiped out, he smiled, knowing that his most oppressors were gone, and the only Uchiha was his little brother, Sasuke, which he considered that he was no threat to him. Training from Ayan, the Kyuubi, Sephiroth and Cloud, he learned how to control his Mako energy and mix it with his chakra, along with controlling her own chakra. He soon adopted Cloud's personality when he was among friends like Hinata, Shikamaru, Choji, Shino, but he also inherited Sephiroth's personality when he was thinking about the Uchiha clan, fighting her very pissed off. He hid his skills and pretended to be a loud, hyperactive ninja that liked Sakura Haruno and attention described by Cloud, since he knew one from experience. He had seals on his hands to get Sephiroth's Masamune and Cloud's first Tsurugi, with his fusion swords on a quick draw. He purposely failed the exam 3 times to see who his allies were and who his enemies were. He was wearing a hideous orange jumpsuit to help with the act. Today was the last day he would act like that. Naruto the boy awoke and ate breakfast before going into his closet. He saw the hideous orange jumpsuit and hung in on the wall along with his old goggles. He took his clothes, Cloud's FFVII Advent Children outfit, only he has sleeves on both arms, and put them on, as well as the straps for the fusion swords. He looked in the mirror to look back at himself with his cold slitted blue-green eyes. He clenched his gloved hands, the gloves' palms are cut to reveal the seals, and his thumbs are exposed. "It begins," he said. He moved out the door to go to sit at the academy. "Academy okay, Kiba and Yuzuka," Haruka said. "Here," Kiba said. Haruka checked him off, "Hinata Hyuga." A shy voice said, "H here." Haruka called out, "Naruto Uzumaki." A cold voice that chilled him and Mizuki to the bone said, "Here." Everyone turned to see Naruto in his new outfit, sitting quietly next to Hinata. Some of the girls blushed at the new, serious Naruto. "So you finally ditched the mask, huh?" Naruto, Haruka thought. The Chunin said, "Glad to see you here, Naruto." Naruto caught the message and said, "It is good to be here. I can finally relax a bit now that I will become a ninja." Kiba said, "I doubt it." Naruto said, "I would prefer it if you can keep your comments to yourself, in Yuzuka, or I will rip out your tongue." Kiba looked at his cold blue-green eyes and shuddered at the truth in his eyes. Everyone was shocked at Naruto's choice of words. The blonde that they knew was different than the one before him. He had a calm and commanding aura around him, but also hostile to others who tend to piss him off. "Okay, now we will begin the test. When your name is called, please proceed to the testing area. The jutsu performed to pass is the Bunshin no Jutsu," Haruka said. Mizuki looked at Naruto, who caught his eye and gave him a cold stare. Mizuki shuddered as the glare intensified, promising pain for reasons unknown. "Okay, let's begin," Haruka said, not noticing the exchange. Naruto came out with a headband and tore off the cloth to sew it on his belt. The people looked at him cruelly, but to their surprise and hidden fear, Naruto gave them a stare equal to them. "And Naruto-kun," a voice said. Naruto turned to see Hinata. "Yes, Hinata." Hinata said, pressing her fingers together, I just wanted to say congratulations on passing the exam." Naruto looked at her for a moment, checking her body language and intent, and gave her a soft smile. "Thanks, Hinata. It was nice of you to do that. I extend the same to you." Hinata said, "Thank you." Naruto asked, "Would you care to join me for ramen today to celebrate, or do you have other plans?" Hinata said quickly, "No, I don't have any other plans." Naruto said, "That is excellent, well, then shall we?" Hinata and Naruto walked together to the Chiraku ramen, only to be blocked by a few villagers. "Is there a problem, gentlemen?" Naruto asked. The leader said, "Yeah, you are not fit to walk with the Hyuga heiress. Get away from her now and go back to where you belong." Naruto replied coolly, "This is where I belong and she seems to enjoy my company. Now I must ask that you please move or I will be forced to subdue you." The man sneered, "You hear that, fellas? He is going to subdue me. Ha, as if." Naruto raised an eyebrow, "Is that a fact?" The man stepped closer and said, "Get away from the heiress, you." Naruto said, "Are you sure you want to finish that sentence? Choose your words carefully or you will be executed by the Hokage himself." The man launched a fist at Naruto, but he caught it and knocked him away, making the man flip straight into a place filled with garbage. Then the rest of them surrounded him and charged at him. Naruto dropped low and sweep kicked them off their feet, then he moved into a handstand while spinning to catch them all and fling them in the same alley. Naruto jumped upright and dusted his hands. I took out the trash already, that is all my chores. Now let's go, Hinata." Hinata said, amazing." Naruto said, "Huh?" Hinata said, when you learn to move like that. You have never done that when you were sparring." Naruto said, "I had great teachers." Inside his head, Cloud smiles, Sephiroth smirked and Ayanaka Kyuubi shouted, "Damn straight." The two approached the ramen shop and sat down. AM turned and greeted Naruto. "Oh, hello Naruto. Who is this?" Your girlfriend?" the waitress asked. Naruto said, "No, she is just a friend, but I don't know the future though." Hinata blushed as she thought, that is almost a confession that he likes me. AM said, "So are you going to have the special?" Naruto said, "Why not? I have the privilege to indulge myself since I have passed my exam." "What do you want, Hinata?" Hinata stuttered, "I will have a miso ramen." AM called out, "2-san, one special and one miso ramen." Gucci called back, "On it." AM turned back to Naruto, "So that is a nice outfit that you had there, when did you get it?" Naruto said, "I had it designed a long time ago and had special seals put on it by Hakureisaiga-san to make the clothes grow with me." "Oh, by the way, Hinata, thank you for the jumpsuit and goggles." Hinata said, "Why you knew?" Naruto nodded, "I knew all the time, I was trained to sense certain signatures and since everyone has their own unique signature, I know exactly who it is. I have noticed that you have been watching me too, Hinata." Hinata blushed deeply as she had been caught red-handed. "To tell your truth, I never found myself to be that inspiring to anybody, especially with my mask gone." Naruto continued, "You have been the kindest person I have ever met, Hinata, and I extend my gratitude towards you." Gucci said, "Ah, Naruto, and who is this? I didn't know that you were a ladies' man." Naruto said, "Tuchi Oji-san, Hinata is my friend, I don't think of her like that now, but maybe over time I will." Hinata inwardly cheered, "Yay, I still might have a chance." Naruto and Hinata grabbed their chopsticks and said, "I did akimasu." Naruto ate his food in a polite and professional manner, "So Hinata, how is your training going?" Hinata said sadly, I am just trying as hard as I see can't I improve and Naruto-kun." Naruto looked at her, "In other words, you are trying hard but end up giving up, right?" Hinata stirred her noodles with her chopsticks and Naruto said, "You need more confidence, so I am going to help you with this." Hinata looked up and said, What?" Naruto said, "I am going to help you, Hinata. I had to learn a person's moves and gestures including body language. In fact I had it beaten into my head repeatedly, judging by that statement I said earlier, you flinched a bit and looked a bit downtrodden. Your flinching was caused by remembering physical pain, and the Hyuga clan taijutsu tend to hurt a lot, plus your sad expression tells me that someone close to you believes that you are weak, someone has been belittling you, haven't they?" Hinata didn't speak a word and Naruto said, "I apologize if I have made you uncomfortable." Hinata spoke up, and no, why you are alright. I have been trying my best, but my father yells at me, trying to push me harder, I always end you up giving up in the end. Naruto said, "A wise man said to me once when I couldn't get down the Bunshin no Jutsu down, he said, never give up, embrace your dreams and protect your honor. My honor lies with my friends that I cherish most. Am Ni-chan, Tuchi Oji-san, Hokuji-san, Shikamaru, Choji, Shino and most of all, you, Hinata. I will help you train." Hinata blushed and said, Thank you, and Naruto-kun." Naruto smiled, "You are most welcome, now if you will excuse me, there is something that I must do." Naruto got up and paid for both of their meals before he left. Forest Mizuki was running through the forest, clutching the scroll of sealing. "Haha, perfect, soon I will be with my master." He thought, I can't believe that was that easy. Suddenly the traitorous Chunin looked up to see a person dressed in black before him. "Hello Mizuki." Naruto said. Mizuki said, "So, demon, how did you know that I was going to steal this?" Naruto said, "You were too obvious, Mizuki, you always have a sickeningly look in your eyes when you are about to do something bad or vengeful." Mizuki said, "Well, maybe that is because you are a demon, you are the Nine Tails." Naruto said, "Is that a fact? I consider myself to be an angel." A black wing popped out of his back, a fallen angel that is. Mizuki unclipped the giant shuriken on his back and flung it at Naruto, then die, angel. Naruto simply had Masamune appeared in his left hand and cut the shuriken in two, then there was a flash of light and Mizuki fell to the ground in pieces. Naruto picked up the scroll and looked up at the sky, staring at something. "I know you are watching, Sarutobi-san." Okage's office, how did he do that? The crystal ball jutsu should not be detected at all, and where did he get that sword? Sarutobi thought. "Okay, time to tell you your team matchups." Iruka said, "Let's see Team 7, Haruno Sakura, Uzumaki Naruto, and Uchiha Sasuke." Sakura cheered for being on Sasuke's team and half of the class expected Naruto to jump and shout for joy, but got a rude awakening. "So I got a weak fangirl that wants the Uchiha's reproductive organ and an Avenger that might swing the other way that broods, well saying only one non-word every day, this will be interesting," the boy said. The fangirls perked up at the gay comment and came on to Naruto, who sat calmly next to Hinata. "Hinata, you might want to move for a moment," he said. Hinata moved away from her seat and the angry Uchiha fangirls pounced on Naruto to punch him with their enormous strength that nobody seems to know where it comes from since most of the girls diet a lot. When they finished, they smiled smugly to see Naruto's body, or was it? The fangirl's smiles faded as Sasuke groaned on the floor. A whistle was heard and Naruto was sitting in Sasuke's seat. Kawarimi, the savior of every ninja's life and guys that insult the Uchiha's sexual status. Naruto said as he read his book titled Loveless. The fangirls were about to attack him again, but the Jinchuriki said, "Are you sure that you want to do that? I could accidentally Kawarimi with the Uchiha again." The fangirls' brains started to kick it as they heard their favorite word of the day, which was every day, and went back, grumbling while Naruto got back to his seat while a limping Sasuke glared at Naruto. Naruto no Kawarimi with students even though it was funny. Now without any more interruptions, Team 8, Hyuga Hinata, Inuyasaka Kiba and Aburame Shino. Team 10, Nara Shikamaru, Akamichi Choji and Yamanaka Ino. Iruka continued. The Chunin listed the teams and told them that they would have a break and meet each other back in the classroom to meet their senseis. Secluded place. Naruto walked behind the academy building and went into a man-sized hole to reach a clearing with a lake and a rushing waterfall. Naruto stretched out his right hand and first Tsurugi, along with the fusion swords already in place. He held it in front of him and began to practice his moves. The first move that Naruto had been taught, the original version of Omni Slash. As he slashed the air with the cleaver with ease, he felt at ease with himself, then he unhinged the last part of the sword and practiced some of the combos with his eyes closed, remembering one of Sephiroth's lessons. The sword is not a weapon, it is a part of you, an extension of yourself. Feel, communicate with it and you must let it guide you to your opponent. Sephiroth's voice whispered in his ear. Naruto flipped and slashed at the air until he stopped at the end of the kata and resealed the cleaver into his right hand. You know, you are the only one who can find me besides Iruka-sensei, ha, Hinata. Naruto said. Hinata came out as Naruto continued, you are always looking out for me. Hinata said, why do you like secluding yourself from us? Naruto said, I prefer the term avoiding, I guess I am still a little insecure with me unmasking myself. Hinata said, you will be fine, Naruto. I am sure that they will accept you no matter what. Naruto said, and if they don't, what will happen then? Hinata said, then they would miss out on a great friend. Naruto smiled, thanks, Hinata, that made me feel a bit better. Hinata said, you're welcome. Naruto said, you realize that you have not stuttered at all when you were talking to me. Hinata blushed, I did. Naruto said, crap, we were so close too. Oh well, we just have to try a little bit harder. Hinata said, alright. Naruto said, anyway we better go back before Iruka-sensei thinks we got kidnapped. Hinata nodded with a light blush on her face and they walked together in the man-sized hole. Academy. Naruto sat down, tapping his fingers on the desk while waiting for his teacher to show up. Sakura shouted, Naruto, stop that. You're bothering Sasuke-kun. Naruto deadpanned, and your bitching isn't getting on his nerves. The Jinchuriki continued tapping his fingers. Then Sakura tried to punch him, but Naruto in a split second noticed his teacher was coming and Kawarimi with him. Sakura's fist met Kakashi's face and Kakashi flew backwards into the wall hard. Sakura gasped with her hands to her mouth and began to apologize to her sensei. Kakashi rubbed his jaw, damn, you have a mean left hook, but I have to say that my first impression of you all, I hate you all. Meet me on the roof in 5 minutes. Kakashi poofed out of existence while Sakura turned to Naruto to berate him for making her punch her sensei, but he was already out the door after Kakashi. Roof. Kakashi said, okay, first we will introduce ourselves. Sakura said, how are we supposed to do that? The Haddock replied, like tell me your hobbies, likes, dislikes, that sort of stuff. Sakura said, how about you start us off? You look suspicious. Kakashi said, my name is Kakashi Haddock, my likes are none of your concern, my dislikes are a lot, my hobbies I have lots of hobbies, and my dream is none of your business. Naruto stated in monotone, Kakashi Haddock, son of the White Fang, Tsukumo Haddock. He likes Icha Icha Paradise, a porn book with a plot to it, training, his sensei and old team, his dislikes are traders, Iwa and Kumo to a certain extent, his hobbies are reading Icha Icha or resting in his leisure time. His dream is to help us be the greatest team ever and collect all of the Icha Icha Paradise known over the 5 great countries. Nicknames. Copy Ninja Kakashi, Sharingan no Kakashi. The origin of the nicknames were where he had the eye implanted by a request of a dear friend named Obito Uchiha, who was also his teammate, along with Rin Inuyasaka and Minato Namikaze. He is known to have 1000 jutsu under his belt. Kakashi looked at Naruto curiously as did his teammates. Naruto said, bingo book, and I did actually paid attention in history class about the 3rd Great Shinobi War. After all, my father did happen to fight in that war. Kakashi's lone eye widened, no way, he knows about Minato-sensei. Sasuke said, dope, you are an orphan, you had no parents that were ninja. Naruto said, is that a fact, Uchiha? Do you have proof of this lie as you called it? Sasuke shot back, no, but you don't either. Naruto said, actually I do, sensei here used to work with him a long time ago, right? Kakashi said, it is true, Sasuke, Naruto's father was an incredible ninja, and I once worked with him. He died honorably protecting the village from the Kyuubi attack. So then, Sakura, you start first. Sakura said, I'm Sakura Haruno, my dislikes are Ino Pig and Naruto Baka, my hobbies are, my dream is Squeal. Kakashi sweat dropped, just my luck, a fangirl. Naruto said, HMPH, if Ino is a pig, then what are you? An insect? Sakura said, I am a beautiful flower. Naruto said, someone lied to you to make you feel better. Flowers don't have big foreheads. Sakura flinched at Naruto's words and remembered the teasing from the girls, but there was a faint person that appeared in front of her telling them to stop teasing her. It was Sasuke, but it flickered between Naruto and her crush for some reason. An indication. Kakashi said, next. Sasuke said, Sasuke Uchiha, I have little likes and many dislikes, I don't have any hobbies than training, and I don't have a dream, more like an ambition I need to kill a certain person to avenge my clan. Kakashi thought, typical, Sasuke has become an avenger. He turned to Naruto and Naruto said in monotone, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, my likes are my father, my mother, Ayan-chan, Sephiroth, Cloud, Hinata, my friends, Raymond, the Ichiraku family, Hokujoji-san, training and Itachi Nyasan. Sasuke's eyes became angry at Naruto for calling the murderer of the Uchiha clan a brother figure to Naruto, but the Jinchuriki ignored him, my dislikes are traitors, murderers, people who use anything in their grasp for power, cowards, people who don't cherish their friends, fangirls, the Sharingan and some of the villagers. My hobbies are training, helping out Hinata, walking in the forest, meditation and learning facts about my father from Hokujoji-san. My dream is to live my life and to become the strongest, also to kill a certain Uchiha who was the cause of my hell no, Uchiha, it is not your brother, Itachi, he is actually the only one in your clan that I respect. Sasuke said, how can you respect him, he was the one who murdered my clan. Naruto said, that is none of your concern, the fact is that Itachi in my opinion did a good thing wiping out the arrogance there. Kakashi said, anyway now that we are introduced, I wanted to tell you that you are not officially Genin. Sakura looked at him, but we passed the exam. Kakashi said, to test your knowledge, this is to test your skills, and this test happens to have a 66.6% failure rate. Sakura and Sasuke had visible looks of concern, while Naruto's face was impassive. Meet up at 7 in the morning at training area 3 and don't eat or you will throw up. Kakashi left them on the roof and Naruto moved to go home, but Sasuke said, hey, dope, we are not finished. Naruto said, what, Uchiha? Make it quick, I need to see the Hokage, and I have no time for your petty sibling rivalry with your brother. Sasuke growled, Itachi was the one who killed my entire clan, and you say that it was a good thing. Naruto said, correct, so what of it? Sasuke said, you asshole. Naruto said, no, your family is the assholes. What kind of person would use a 3-year-old kid for target practice? Naruto removed his gloves to show that the back of his hands and Sasuke saw that there was an Uchiha sign branded on his hand. Itachi was the one who saved me from being a pincushion, and I had admired his strength, he understood the uses of the Sharingan, and used rarely until he was in a pinch, while the rest of your so-called clan were the ones who used the Sharingan first and became arrogant that they died when they didn't anticipate the situation. Naruto put back on his gloves as he walked off, when we go against Kakashi, make sure that you don't get in my way. Hokage's office Sarutobi and Naruto were having a conversation about yesterday's events. Naruto, where did you get that sword? Sarutobi said, I have never seen you use it before. Naruto said, I found in a clearing near the abandoned estate, it was just sitting there in the ground, so I took it and found a book about seals. I learned to make a seal to make it appear in my hand by channeling chakra into the seal to make it appear in my hand instantly. I had to steal a book on Kenjutsu to help me learn how to wield it properly. Sarutobi stared at Naruto instantly, but luckily Naruto was so good with masks, and Ayan was the one who taught him to develop a poker face, playing poker with a boy when he was 9 years old. Sarutobi said, fine, then Naruto, but how did you know about your father? Naruto said, it was obvious there are only 2 known blonde families in Konoha, the Yamanaka clan and Minato Namikaze. If you hold up a mirror beside my face and look at his picture, you can see that I look like him. Also I highly doubt that the Yondaime Hokage would seal the Kyuubi in anybody that he didn't trust. Who better to trust than your own son? Sarutobi said, you are smart, Naruto, why didn't you show your intelligence? Naruto said, Oji-san, if you were a teacher and hated me, what would you do? Sarutobi answered, I would do everything within my rights to stop you from learning anything. Naruto said, exactly, if I showed any signs of intelligence, I would have gotten annoyances from the teachers, so I played the fool and pretended to be a dunce that liked Sakura and constantly wanted attention by doing pranks, which helped the clans in the long run to step up the security. Sarutobi was surprised at Naruto's elaborate plan and facade that had fooled everyone including him. "Now is that all, Sarutobi-Jai-san?" the Jinchuriki asked. Sarutobi said, "Yes, but Naruto tried to not antagonize Sasuke. Even though you respect Itachi for saving you from his family, Sasuke hates him for killing his family members." Naruto said, "I will try, but I am not sorry for what I said. It is ironic, much of Konoha's pain and misery is centered around the ones that they worship like they are gods." Sarutobi said, "But you don't even know where Madara is." Naruto answered back, "I don't need to knowing Madara, he would want to have his pet back to him, so he will come for me, and then I will strike against him." Next day, Naruto arrived at the training area 3 at 9, knowing that Kakashi had a chronic tardiness that he developed from his friend Obito. It reminded him of Cloud and his friend Zack, they were both alike in some ways, and ironically, Kakashi and Cloud had received some of their traits after they died. They both in a sense began to live both of their friends' lives. Sakura screamed, "You're late." Naruto said, "No, Kakashi-sensei is not here, therefore I am not counted as late, Haruno-san." Then Kakashi said, "Yo." Sakura shouted, "You're late." Kakashi rubbed the back of his head, "Sorry, I got lost on the road of life." Naruto said, "Well, I can't blame you, the road to life has many twists and turns on your way." Kakashi smirked, finally someone who understands. He took out an alarm clock and set it on the stump. "Okay, here are the rules, your objective is to take these bells from me." Sakura said, "But sensei, there are only 2 bells." Kakashi said, "Correct, it means that 2 of you will stay here with me, and the one without a bell will be tied to the stump while I eat a bento in front of you." Sakura and Sasuke's stomach growled while Naruto shook his head in amazement. "I can't believe that they actually listened to him, and they still think that I am a dope." Cloud said, "It just goes to show who the real idiots are." Sephiroth said, "Indeed." Kakashi said, "You can use Taijutsu, ninjutsu, jinjutsu or whatever you want to use, even weapons against me." Sakura said, "But sensei, won't you get hurt?" Naruto thought, "You have got to be kidding me." Kakashi said, Sakura, I am not a Jonin or called Sharingan no Kakashi for nothing. Now when I say go, we will begin the test. Ready. Go." Sasuke and Sakura sprang back into the tree, while Naruto sprang forward with Masamune in his hand to stab at Kakashi. Kakashi moved to avoid being impaled by Naruto's sword. But the Kakashi said, "Where the hell did you get that sword? No, matter of fact, how the hell were you able to hide that sword?" Naruto said, "It is best not to ask questions when you are in a battle." He launched himself at Kakashi, who took out a kunai to defend himself. Naruto attacked in fluid motions and speed, causing Kakashi to be at a distance while protecting himself from the attacks. He was never this fast in the academy. Was he hiding his true potential? Suddenly Naruto backed off and sent a blade beam at Kakashi, who dove to the side as the beam passed him and destroyed a multitude of trees. Kakashi looked in shock behind at the destruction until he felt Naruto's presence near him and Naruto slashed at his midsection. Kakashi backflipped to avoid being sliced in half and moved into a defensive stance to see that the Jinchuriki's sword had disappeared and he was picking up something in his hand. Kakashi heard a jingle and felt his waist to see that the bells were gone and in Naruto's hand. Naruto said in monotone, "You two can come out now." Sasuke and Sakura came out of their hiding spots to walk beside Naruto. Sakura was in shock that Naruto had actually got the bells without any help, and Sasuke was in shock and a little envious of Naruto's strength. "How did you?" Kakashi began, but Naruto interrupted, "In that last strike I gave you, I knew that you would avoid it by backflipping to the side or backwards, so I made you dodge to get the objective." Kakashi said, "You got the 2 bells, so which one will you choose to take with you?" Naruto said, "Neither." Kakashi said, "What?" Sasuke and Sakura shouted, "What?" Naruto said, "Let me explain, in all the years of Genin teams, there has not been a 2-man squad ever at all. There have only been apprenticeships and 3-man squads. Thus this means that Kakashi wanted us to do something. If I was the dunce that you all thought I was, we would have to work together to get the bells from Kakashi, since in reality, a team that has good teamwork together can overcome even the greatest of ninjas. Therefore the bells were made to cause dissension within our ranks, to make us lose sight of the primary objective. So." He tossed the bells to Sasuke and Sakura. "I choose them over me, although I am strong as I am, I would not mind torturing Iruka-sensei with my pranks." Kakashi said, "In that case you all passed." Sakura said, "When did you get so smart, Naruto?" Naruto said, "I didn't get smart, Haruno, I have been smart. The idiot, the pranks, the attention, the crush on you, it was all an act to hide my true strength." Then he walked away as he finished, "And now that I am a ninja, I don't have to hide my true self anymore from anybody." Kakashi said, "Meet us at the Hokage building for our first mission at 7, Naruto." Naruto waved his hand, acknowledging Kakashi's shout. Hokage building here is in Sarutobi looked at all of the Jonin that were present and potential senseis. Okay, and now the results of your teams. The Hokage said. Deko Height stepped forward, Team 1 failed. Genma Shiranui said, Team 2 also failed. Aoba Yamashiro said, Team 3 failed. Ibiki Marino said, Team 4 failed. Anko Mitarashi said, Team 5 failed. Raido Namiashi said, Team 6 failed. Kakashi stepped forward, Team 7 passed. The Jonin in the room gasped at Kakashi. So far he had failed every single team he had gotten, and it was a surprise to them that the Kakashi had finally passed a team. The Hokage said, well, Kakashi, how was the test? Kakashi answered, it was a shock, I didn't even get time to evaluate his teammate's skills because of his abilities. The Hokage said, let me guess, Uzumaki Naruto, huh? Kakashi said, correct, Hokage-sama. It seems that he hid his true abilities that fool all of us, tricking us to thinking that he was some idiot, but he figured out the true test and got them single-handed without any help. The random Jonin said, Kakashi, surely you are lying, there is no way that the brat could be that strong. Kakashi looked at Sarutobi, who made a giant version of the crystal ball jutsu the size of a 36-inch HD TV. Instantly the Jonins were shocked at Naruto's battle against Kakashi and witnessed his power along with his swordplay that made Height drool. I simply got to battle this boy in Kenjutsu, said Jonin thought to himself. Sarutobi said, now that is clear, let's see the next one. Kurenai said, Team 8 passed. Sarutobi nodded, knowing that Team 9 was still in circulation as his son. Asuma said, Team 10 passed. Doze Akamichi said, Team 11 failed. Sarutobi said, alright, Team 7, Team 8 and Team 10 are the only ones that passed, I will expect you three to start your mission tomorrow. Dismissed. The Jonin filed out of the room only for Sarutobi to think, Naruto, just how strong are you? Naruto An said, did you see the look on Kakashi's face? Priceless. Naruto replied, yes, his facial expression was most amusing. Sephiroth said, you did well, Naruto, you are becoming more powerful each day. Naruto replied, that is because of all of your teachings, An-chan, Cloud Sensei, Sephiroth Sensei. Cloud said, just don't get cocky or you will die. Naruto said, confidence and cockiness are not the same thing, Cloud Sensei, but I will do as you ask. Then a Jonin with bags under his eyes and a katana strapped to his back appeared before Naruto. May I help you, sir? Naruto said. My name is Deko Height, I noticed your Kenjutsu and I am astonished by your skills, may you do me the honor of sparring with me? The Jonin said. Naruto said, I guess I can indulge you. Naruto summoned Masamune to his hand with a light green mist covering the blade. Come. Naruto said. Height came at Naruto with speed until Naruto blocked it using only one hand to fend off his strikes. Height did an overhead strike, but Naruto blocked his strike and smirked. Height gave him a smirk as well to indicate that he was having fun with it. Height and Naruto jumped back, and this time Naruto attacked him with an upward slash, launching Height in the air. Naruto jumped up after him and attacked Height, who struggled to block his attack until Naruto placed two hands on Masamune to strike Height downwards to the ground. Naruto floated to the ground softly and Height ran at him, Konoha Mikazuki no Mai. Naruto was intrigued at the technique that he left himself open for the moment to see that Height made 3 clones and had them move in a complicated pattern to confuse him. Naruto followed each one's movements and blocked the one that was trying to strike him from the air. Nice try, but it is easy to see their movements. Might I ask what clone did you use? The Jinchuriki said. Height said, the standard Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto said, there is a jutsu that could help you out in case someone happens to counter-attack your technique. Height said, oh. What is it? Naruto said, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. The clone of Naruto appeared behind Height, placing Masamune on his shoulder. Since they are solid, you can substitute with the clone to make your opponent confused when the adversary attacks you. Once it dispels, you should be able to attack from behind. Height said, I see, thank you Naruto. Naruto said, thanks for the spar. Do you know another swordsman? Height said, there is Kakashi Haddock, but I have never seen him use a katana since he left the Anbu, and there is my fiancée, Yugao. Naruto said, excellent, bring her here tomorrow at the same time. I like to see if I am able to match myself between two opponents. Height said, I will, but you better be ready. Naruto Yugao uses the same style as I, and she is an Anbu. Naruto said, I will, Height-san. Chapter 3 The Angel Meets the Demon. Naruto carried Tora with a glaring Sasuke and Sakura. The cat seemingly prefers to go to Naruto instead of Sasuke and Sakura, whom usually get claw marks on their faces. When the team reached the office, Tora immediately hid behind Naruto's legs and Naruto told Lady Shijimi about her hugs. But the new outlook on cats, Lady Shijimi made Tora's life much easier and everyone was shocked that Naruto had knocked off the most annoying and recurring D-rank mission. Look, Hokage-sama, I am tired of the incessant missions, may I request a C-rank mission please? Naruto asked. Iruka said, Naruto, you and your team are fresh genin, you three need more experience under your belt. Naruto said, do you want to explain how babysitting, watching the elders' children, and digging up yams are essential to a ninja's life, Iruka-sensei? I can understand gardening to cope with the death of a loved one or your first kill, but this is ridiculous. Sarutobi said, you make a vital point, Naruto. Fine, we will give your team a C rank. Iruka said, Hokage-sama. Sarutobi said, look, Iruka, you are the one who has seen past Naruto's mask before, something I have never done before. You were the only one to see his true self for the past 5 years. I trust Naruto, and plus they have Kakashi with them, they will be fine. The old man turned to Naruto, your C-rank mission is to escort a bridge builder back to his home in Wave Country and protect him from bandits. Send him in, please. Suddenly an old man with a straw hat on his head and a sake bottle in his left hand came inside the room. What a bunch of snot-nosed brats. I see an emo kid, a weird girl that will probably faint at the sight of blood and well, he is decent. Kakashi had to put his book away to prevent Sasuke and Sakura from charging the client. Naruto looked at the two, you two, calm down. No killing the client, I just got us a C-rank mission, and now you want to mess it up for an insult. Sakura said, you should talk, he didn't insult you. Naruto said, so it is not like we are going to see him again. Kakashi said, no matter, let's meet up at 11 o'clock. The boys nodded and Sakura said, Sensei, please try to be on time this time you too, Naruto. Naruto said, HMPH, whatever. The boy wandered off to his home to check his inventory. Okay, soldier pills, blood pills, throwing knives, summon materia, blank scrolls, extra pair of clothes, bandages, smoke bombs, explosive tags and the fusion swords pack. Naruto said to himself, well, then let's see about that fight Yugao and Hade wanted me to do, I got plenty of time before Kakashi shows up with the client. Training Area 14 Naruto came to the training area again, and this time, Hade came with his girlfriend Yugao Yuzuki. It has been a long time Miko-chan. Naruto said. Yugao said, how did you know it was me? Naruto said, I am sure that you two know about my burden, correct? You along with my sensei had to save me numerous times when you were on duty. Naruto turned around and stretched his right hand, making first Tsurugi appear in his hand and a light blue mist around the blade. I thought you said he only had a 7-foot katana. Yugao said. Hade said, he does have one. Naruto said, your boyfriend is right, Yugao-chan. I do have mass immune, but I am not going to use it today. Now I'd skip the warm-up, I have a C-rank mission, and if I am correct about Kakashi-sensei's chronic tardiness, I have about 2 hours to kill. I hope you have improved with the cage bunshin idea I gave you, Hade-san. The boy hefted first Tsurugi and thought, I have to try and not reveal the secrets of first Tsurugi to them yet. So far, they know that I am fast and powerful with mass immune, but they both don't know anything about first Tsurugi at all. Hade and Yugao drew their katanas and circled Naruto, who slid into Cloud's battle stance. The two attacked at opposite sides, and Naruto moved backwards to avoid the strike, making Hade and Yugao clash with each other. The two separated to attack Naruto, who defended Hade's strike and ducked under Yugao's. The Jinchuriki pushed back at Hade and kicked Yugao in the stomach hard, making her grimace in pain. Then Naruto slashed at her, making her block the cleaver with great difficulty. He swings that giant sword so much with ease, and he is even using one hand to attack me. Yugao thought as she felt the ringing in her hands. Hade came behind and shouted, Konoha no Ryu. Mikazuki no Mai. Naruto smiled at Hade's use of Kage Bunshin and moved to meet the attack. All three moved in intricate and complicated sword patterns to confuse Naruto and attacked at different intervals. Naruto flipped backwards to avoid the first clone's attacks and blocked the second one's attack behind. He kicked off the one to meet the third one's aerial assault and slashed the clone through the middle. Naruto landed gracefully with a crouch and slowly stood up to see Hade with the clone and Yugao surrounding him. Naruto moved back into his battle stance and one of the Hades came at him at full speed. Naruto blocked his slash and did an upward slash, breaking Hade's sword and slicing him in half. Luckily, the Hade that he was fighting was a clone that poofed out of existence. Then Hade came through the white smoke only to be blocked and then Yugao came overhead, spinning like a top and slashed at Naruto, who dodged it. Then she ran at him, slashing at Naruto, who blocked at every turn. HMPH, is this the best you can do? Naruto asked as he pushed her back to her fiancé. You are good, but I didn't know that you were skilled with a giant sword like that. I was told that you had a katana that was 7 feet long. The Anbu said with a smirk. The Jinchuriki replied, I was trained by the best, they beat their styles into my head until I could do it in my sleep. I have been training hard to protect myself to one day destroy the man who planted this burden upon me. Now enough of that, let's continue. Naruto attacked them as the two lone users of the Crescent Moon style fought against the angel, both wondering who was the man that caused the boy to harbor such strong hatred in his heart. Konoha front gates 1 p.m. After Naruto cleaned himself up from the dirt on his clothes, he moved to the gates only for Sakura to yell, "You're late." Naruto said, "Like I said 2 weeks ago, if Kakashi-sensei is late, then I am not considered late. Now if you would do me and Uchiha a favor, please refrain from using your voice for the remainder of the trip. I don't want to explain to the Hokage how your vocal cords were crudely removed from use." Sakura immediately shut up to the boy's relief due to Naruto's calm but commanding aura, and the look in his slitted eyes told her that he was reconsidering the decision in his hand. When Kakashi came up with Tazuna, Sakura was quiet with Naruto's threat still fresh in her mind. Kakashi said, "Okay, team, let's move out." The team moved out the gates, surrounding Tazuna. The Uzumaki looked at Tazuna, who was tense and his eyes darting from side to side. Something is up. If there were bandits, Tazuna would not be this jumpy, knowing that he is in good hands, which means that something big is going on here. I guess I have to wait until something appears to prove my theory. Sasuke said, "Hey, dope, why don't you have a pack?" Naruto said, "Why carry a pack when you can simply seal into a scroll and carry your essentials in there?" Kakashi said, "You know sealing." Naruto said, "Library, sensei library." The team continued walking, but Naruto noticed that 2 foreign signatures were following them, hiding in the trees. Sakura said, "So, Tazuna-san." Tazuna said, "What?" Sakura asked, "You are from the Wave Country, right?" Tazuna answered, "So what of it?" Sakura turned to Kakashi, "Are there any ninjas in that country?" Kakashi said, "No, not in Wave, but there are others. The culture and customs are different, but hidden villages do exist along with their own ninja. In many countries, the meaning of a shinobi village is that it has military power. An island country like Wave doesn't hold any interference with a shinobi village and therefore doesn't need any ninja protecting them. Within the various countries, the ones that stand out are Konoha, Kiri, Kumo, Suna and Iwa. Thus they are referred to as the 5 great shinobi countries. They are ones that have leaders called Kages. The 5 Kages, Hokage, Mizukage, Reikage, Kazekage and the Tsuchikage, are the ones that rule over the thousands of ninja all over the world." Sakura said, "So then we won't encounter any foreign ninjas?" Kakashi said, "Of course not, there is never any kind of ninja combat on a C-rank mission." Naruto muttered as he passed by a puddle, "I wouldn't be so sure about that." His eyes flickered to the client, who had a guilty look on his face. "So I was right, there are ninja here, but it doesn't explain why he would lie about the mission," he thought. Just then he heard a whistling sound and he turned to see Kakashi trapped in a bladed chain with 2 mist ninja attached to the ends. "One down," one of them said. Then Kakashi was cut into bloody chunks and then the ninjas appeared behind Naruto as they said in unison, "2 down." Naruto said calmly, "You are right, 2 down." The Jinchuriki appeared behind them and knocked them both out. The 2 dropped to the floor soundly and Naruto tied them up against a tree with their hands bounded so that they would not be able to do the escape jutsu. "You can come out now, Kakashi-sensei." The Jonin said, coming out of hiding, "I thought you guys would be okay." Sakura looked at the remains of her sensei to see that he used Kawarimi to avoid the attack. Naruto said, "The demon brothers, Maizu and Gozu status. Miss Chunin, known for assassination and the ability to fight until the objective is done. Also their weapons have poison laced on them. You did that scare to figure out what they were after, didn't you?" Kakashi nodded and Maizu asked, "How did you know we were there?" Naruto said, "You had a crappy genjutsu. You used a puddle for Kami's sake and it has not rained for days. On top of that, it is a sunny day." He turned to Tazuna, "Care to explain why these ninja are after you and don't even try to lie. You were looking guilty when Kakashi-sensei mentioned that there was no ninja combat on a C-rank mission, also you have been jumpy since the beginning of the mission." Kakashi said, "Which means that this should be a B rank or even an A rank mission now. We are operating outside our duties now." Sakura said, "I think that we should quit, this mission is way too advanced for us." Naruto said, "I suggest that you start telling us the reason, Tazuna-san." Tazuna said, "The truth is my village is very poor and there is a super dangerous man that is after my life now. His name is Gato." Kakashi said, "The Gato of Gato Company?" Tazuna nodded, "He officially runs a shipping company, but secretly he sells drugs, illegal items and women as sex slaves, using ninjas and thugs to take over countries and businesses." Naruto thought, women as sex slaves. Oh, hell no. We are continuing this mission regardless of what anybody says. Ayan said, "You better and make sure you kill him slowly and painfully bit by bit." The Jinchuriki voiced, "We are continuing this mission. I will not stand by while this man does these unspeakable things." Sasuke followed him, thinking, there are strong guys on this mission and I will be the one to test my skills and see if I am able to defeat him. Kakashi looked at Sakura, "Looks like you are overruled, Sakura." The team continued their mission and soon found a contact that brought them across the river. Outskirts of Wave, I will get stronger than you, Naruto, I am an Avenger, I am destined to be stronger than Itachi and kill him, I will show you that we are superior and not assholes to you, Naruto. Sasuke thought, Uchiha are not arrogant, only confident that we are the champion. We show our Sharingan to the enemy, making sure that it will be the last sight that they will see before they fall to the abyss of death. Sasuke took out a shuriken and flung into the trees, making the group stop, and Kakashi investigated the room to see a rabbit scared to death, with Sasuke's shuriken embedded inches above its head. Naruto bent down and grabbed the rabbit to calm its nerves down by petting, good job, Uchiha. The rabbit's fur is out of season, meaning someone is here. Naruto detected someone in the treetops, you can come out now, sir or madam. A man dressed in camouflage arm and leg warmers with light blue pants. Zabuza Momochi, a rank missing nin, master of the silent killing style and former member of the 7 Shinobi Swordsmen of the Mist. Also the cause of the end of the Bloody Mist graduation exam by slaughtering a class without any ninja training of some sort. You are also accused of an assassination attempt on the Sandai Mizukage. Naruto stated in monotone. Zabuza said, HMPH, I am honored to see that you know my name so well. Is it because of fear? Naruto said, no, because of excitement, you see I happen to be a swordsman too. Naruto revealed first Tsurugi and pointed at Zabuza, and I always wanted to fight against a true swordsman. Zabuza laughed, you think that you, Amir Genin, can keep up with me? Naruto said, no, I know I can. The real question is, can you keep up with me, Zabuza Oji-san? Zabuza's eye twitched, and then the Jonin said, you are going to die first. Naruto let loose a small chuckle, HMPH, come and try. Zabuza said, such confidence, but I wonder how long it will last. Kurigaku no Jutsu. Suddenly a mist rolled in, covering Naruto and Zabuza from view of Kakashi, Tazuna and the rest of Team 7. Zabuza moved and Naruto hefted first Tsurugi to block Zabuza's strike. Naruto pushed back and attacked Zabuza, who blocked his slashes due to his experience. Zabuza swiped at Naruto's head and the Jinchuriki ducked low to avoid the slash that could have taken his head and his life. Then Naruto turned around, dragging first Tsurugi lightly on the ground to block Zabuza's overhead strike. Naruto punched Zabuza in the face, and the Jonin backed up, blood dripping from the side of his mouth due to him biting his tongue. Zabuza spat out blood and jumped back to land on the lake, Suiten. Suryuiden no Jutsu. The giant water dragon made of water came up, and Zabuza directed the jutsu to attack Naruto. Naruto braced himself and channeled Mako energy into the cleaver, making the blade give off a light blue glow, and then he swung downwards at the dragon, unleashing a giant wave at the dragon, cutting it in half, and Zabuza had to jump to the side to avoid the blast. Naruto appeared behind Zabuza and kicked back to land. The ex-Miss Jonin landed hard against a tree, and Naruto looked at him with a bored look on his face. Is this the best you can do? He asked in monotone. Zabuza slowly lifted himself up and charged at Naruto with a war cry. Naruto was suddenly surrounded by a darkened mix of blue and green Mako energy and whispered out his attack, on the slash. Naruto slashed at Zabuza at random intervals, gravely injuring Zabuza and sending the Jonin into the trees. It's over, Zabuza Momochi. Naruto said with first Tsurugi on his shoulder. What are you? Zabuza asked. Naruto said, what am I? That is a good question. In my village, I am considered as a demon, but in reality he put a palm to his head and shifted it quickly to the side to show his black and white wings. I am Naruto Uzumaki, an angel, a heartless angel, a messenger of death to my enemies. Too bad that you are a demon, Zabuza, since angels and demons are natural enemies to each other. I will see you in the next life. Naruto raised first Tsurugi with one hand, poised to strike him down when suddenly two senbon found themselves embedded in Zabuza's neck. Thank you for subduing Zabuza, ninja of Konoha. A small voice said. Everyone looked to see Akiri Hunter Nin in the trees. Akiri Hunter Nin, eh? Kakashi said as he strode forward to see that Zabuza was dead. The Hunter Nin appeared beside Zabuza and lifted his body until Naruto appeared behind her with his sword near her head. You are not going anywhere, Hunter Nin. Tell me what is your name and your relationship with Zabuza Momochi. Sakura shouted, Naruto, what are you doing? Naruto ignored her and continued, your act was flawless, but if you were a real Hunter Nin, you would have disposed of the body on the spot after you killed him. You didn't, instead you put him in a false death-like state to take him. The Hunter Ninja said, you are correct, Naruto-kun. Naruto said, reveal your face please. The girl complied, slowly lifting up her hands and took off her mask to show her feminine face. My name is Haku Momochi, the apprentice of Zabuza. Naruto commanded, stand up and face me. Haku stood up and turned around to face Naruto. His slitted blue-green eyes met her soft chocolate brown to reveal everything to him. You have had a hard childhood, haven't you, Haku-san? Naruto asked. Haku's eyes showed surprise at Naruto's blunt statement. You were just like me, you didn't have anywhere to go until Zabuza found you. You were shunned for something different about yourself. Also, despite your skills, you have never killed anyone in your life." Haku said quietly, "How did you?" Naruto said, "You have the same eyes that I used to have a long time ago. Tell me how you met Zabuza from start to finish." Haku began her story. "I used to live in a small village near Kiri. I had a mother and father. When I discovered my Kekkei Genkai to manipulate ice, inherited from my mother, she told me to never reveal it ever again. Someone saw and told my father about it, and at that time, Kiri decreed that bloodlines were dangerous and must be purged. My mother was the last of her clan and my father along with some of the villagers banded together. They killed my mother and came slowly to kill me. Only in my fear, I unconsciously activated my Kekkei Genkai and they died. I ran away, scavenging for food until Zabuza saw me. He took me in and trained me to a shinobi and control my Kekkei Genkai. On the day he found me, I made my life to him as his weapon and his tool until he died or I was proven useless." Naruto said, "I see, then I will not kill either of you. Instead I am taking you back home with us." The team and Haku was surprised at Naruto as he said, "Both of your lives belong to me, since I have shown both of you mercy, you will tell this to Zabuza when he awakens. Also Geto is the root of this land's misery and pain." Knowing Geto's nature, he likes his money and finds that he can dispose nuke nin easily than hired ninja. "I want you to go back to him and to wait 1 week to recover and relay Geto a message, tell him that I am coming for him. Also if Zabuza doesn't agree with my idea, then he can challenge me again for his freedom. So I want you to notify me on Saturday in the forest." Naruto removed first Tsurugi from Haku's head and allowed her to take Zabuza away. Kakashi said, "Was that wise, Naruto?" Naruto said, "Either way, I win. They can be my subordinates or they will die by my hand, and I think Sasuke would like to fight Haku, therefore it is a win-win situation. Now let's escort Tazuna back home. I am tired from fighting Zabuza Oji-san." Despite the fact that I won, he was strong with his strikes. The 5 of them moved toward Tazuna's house, while Naruto resealed first Tsurugi back into his hand. Meanwhile in Naruto's mind, Ayan said, "So much blood, oh, you don't know how much that turns me on, Naruto-kun." Sephiroth raised an eyebrow and Cloud backed away from the horny vixen, who receded back into her cage to take care of her personal needs. Sephiroth said, "Do you?" Cloud said, "Sephiroth, for once in your life, don't ask any questions. This is something that you definitely don't want to know about. Trust me, hanging around with Tifa and Yuffie gives you some ideas." Azuna's house. "What was that sword, Naruto?" Sasuke asked, "I have never seen you use it before besides of that long katana of yours, and what was that attack?" "That was not chakra at all." Naruto said, "The sword is called First Tsurugi. I had it along with Masamune and trained with it using a book that had katas for Zanbatsu or giant swords. The attack is solely known to me because I have a secondary source of chakra, but it changes when I came in contact with something. I have no idea what it was, but it doesn't matter and I have been experimenting with it since I was in the academy." Technically, Naruto was not lying since he did come in contact with Cloud and Sephiroth to change his genetic structure a bit. His hair grew a bit longer and Naruto had to tie in a long ponytail that stopped at the edge of his waist. Some of his bangs drooped over his forehead and his headband was tied as a belt around his midriff. Kakashi said, "Nevertheless, we need to train to be ready for the next time. Zabuza, knowing his pride as a swordsman, will fight Naruto and Geto might hire another ninja to fight us. Sasuke, you will deal with Haku if they fight against us and Sakura, you will protect Azuna." Sasuke asked, "What exactly are you going to teach us, Kakashi?" Kakashi said, "That is a secret, Sasuke. Now everyone should rest up, you 3 have a big day tomorrow." The next day, Kakashi stood in front of Team 7 in a heavily forested area. "First, we will be working on your chakra control, since you all have been throwing excess chakra away." Sakura said, "So it is to help us control our chakra?" Kakashi said, "Yes, if you master this exercise, theoretically you can master any jutsu." Sasuke said, "Then what are we waiting for? The soon we master this exercise, the soon I get more jutsu, so I can kill Itachi." Naruto said, "You do realize that Itachi is an ex-Anbu captain, and you are just a genin. Plus he hardly shows his emotions, but one mention of his name makes you lose all rationality." Sakura scolded, "Stop antagonizing Sasuke-kun." Naruto turned to Sakura, "What the fuck did I just say to you yesterday?" The Haruno immediately clamped her mouth shut in fear of Naruto's annoyed look. Kakashi said, "Naruto, that is enough. Now use these kunai to mark your progress up your tree and then use it to surpass. You guys won't be good enough to walk up." Naruto calmly walked up the tree and sat on a branch near Kakashi's head. "You were saying, sensei." Kakashi said, "You got this quicker than I expected." Naruto said, "Because when controlling chakra, you have to be calm. Chakra is like a current and you just have to flow with it until you feel the right amount. Sakura here has the lowest chakra capacity, but the best chakra control than all of us. Sasuke has the chakra capacity of a Chunin due to being an Uchiha and has adequate chakra control, so he will take a bit longer to get up the tree. Me, I have a chakra capacity of a low Jonin, but adequate chakra control. Bro and me being calm and I can get up this tree. Sasuke said, how did you do it so easily? Naruto said, weren't you listening? You need to calm down, Sasuke, and focus. Clear your mind of everything you once knew, even your revenge and hatred, for a moment, then you will master this exercise, but do a running start. Sasuke nodded and closed his eyes, then after a few seconds, his eyes snapped open and he ran up a tree until he felt himself slipping and landed on a branch below Naruto and Kakashi. Nice job, Sasuke-kun. Sakura said, cheering. Kakashi smiled at Sasuke and the Uchiha smirked, looking at Naruto, who was looking at something else. Hey, kid, you can stop hiding behind that tree. Naruto called out in monotone. Inari came out from behind the tree and said, this is just a waste of time for all of you. Naruto jumped off and floated downwards, his feet touching the ground softly like he had wings secretly behind his back. You lost someone close to you because of Geto, making you believe and fear Geto because he has Nukenin and thugs in front of him. That is all you see, Inari. Inari stiffened for a moment and shouted, you know nothing about life, you are a ninja, you have the glory life. Naruto whispered, no, I don't have a glory life, Inari. Back in my home village, I was hated and shunned for something I had no control over. In a result, when I was 5, I had very little training and was captured by some of the ninja in my village. He opened the zipper on his jacket to show his bare chest, covering with crude large cuts that almost made Inari throw up. On top of that, you had a mother and grandfather in that home that you live in. Me, I have lived by myself with no one until I was 4 years old, the people who taught me until they had to leave before I turned 12. I had only a few people that care about me: Hokuji-san, Am-chan, Tuchi-oji-san, Hinata-chan, Itachi-nai-san, and some of the Anbu. Naruto looked at Inari, I would give anything to have a mother like yours. I never knew my mother or father, only stories. They were great people, and I believe that they love me very much. I blame the person who made this all happen to me. If he hadn't done anything, none of those events would have happened, and I will kill him since I have what he wants the most. He will come and I will make sure he goes straight to hell. Naruto zipped back up his jacket and said, besides, Geto is not strong at all, he is just a spineless little man, but I will kill him for leaving this country in poverty like this. People this kind should not have to suffer at all. Excuse me, sensei, but I will be leaving here to escort Inari back home. Kakashi nodded and Naruto, with Inari trailing behind him, left to go to Tazuna's house. After a few minutes, Inari asked, why do they hate you so much? Naruto said, Inari, can you keep a secret? Inari nodded and Naruto said, you must never tell anyone this, especially around Kakashi and my teammates. Inari nodded again and Naruto said, 12 years ago, there was a demon called the Kyuubi no Kitsune came to my home village, Konoha. The Yondaime saw that the demon was being controlled by a mysterious force and first tried to break the spell, but to no avail. He was forced to seal the demon away at the cost of his own life, but the Kyuubi was a Bijuu, and demons with 5 tails and up had to be sealed in a living object, a baby. I happened to be that baby, and for years, I have been shunned because people stupidly believed that I was the Kyuubi no Kitsune. Inari said, but you aren't a demon. Demons usually attack humans on sight and without mercy. They don't take any insolence from anyone. Naruto chuckled, you are very smart, Inari. I just wish that there were more people like you in Konoha. Inari said, I am so sorry for saying that your life is better than yours, Naruto-san. Naruto said, it is okay, you have never encountered ninja before, so you didn't know the aspect of a ninja's life. Inari said, I don't believe that you are a demon. If you were, you would be worse than Geto and kill everyone in the village. Therefore you are just as human as all of us. Naruto smiled, thanks Inari. You truly are your father's son. Inari said, how did you know? Naruto said, there is a picture in your room with him and on it, there were dried tears. Geto must have killed him for standing up against his will. I will make sure to make Geto pay for his crimes against this village and you, Inari. Inari smiled and said, thanks, Naruto-nai-san. Naruto was surprised at the suffix, but his face softened as Inari gave him a hug. Naruto said, let's go before your mother gets worried about you. Later, Kakashi, Sakura and Sasuke found the sight of Naruto playing with Inari outside the door. Kakashi knew that something had happened because usually Naruto is always calm and sometimes indifferent, and Inari was lamenting on how Geto was the strongest person and he will kill them. After Naruto left the group, Sasuke had worked harder, making him reach the middle point of the tree in the end, while Sakura ran up and down to increase her chakra capacity. Then he gave them each scroll for a C-rank jutsu. For Sakura, Kaiten. Housenkan no Jutsu, and for Sasuke, Kaiten. Ryuken no Jutsu. He had a scroll for Naruto to learn a Fuitin Jutsu, assuming that Naruto had an affinity for it just like his sensei. Tsunami said, Inari, Naruto-san, time to come inside. Oh, sensei, Sasuke-san, Sakura-san, you guys are back. Naruto turned to see his teammates and gave a small wave to them before going inside. Sakura said, how come you never smile when you are with us? Naruto said with his serious face on, because I don't like your attitudes and I don't trust you both of you. With that, Naruto walked back inside with Kakashi and the two teammates trailing behind him. Meanwhile at Gato's hideout, Haku sat by Zabuza's side quietly until Gato came inside, so even you came back defeated, it looks like Kiri ninjas are pretty pathetic. Haku replied, there is a man who has abilities that have not been seen before. He had exceptional Kenjutsu abilities that rival Zabuza and put him in this condition, also Sharingan no Kakashi is among the bodyguards with him. Gato said, which is why I took the liberty of hiring another missing nin. A tall man with a jagged scar running from the corner of his mouth to his jawline, Tatsuno Ishizaki, formerly from Iowa. Long time no see, Zabuza. Zabuza said, Tatsuno, you became a missing nin. Tatsuno said, apparently the Sandaime Tsuchikage didn't like the fact that I killed his subordinates while I was protesting against his rule. I wanted to see Konohagakure destroyed, well the old fool wants to let it go, it was war, and the Kiroi Senko did what he had to do. Haku said, he also gave me a message for you, Zabuza-sama and Gato. Zabuza-sama, Naruto said that since he spared both of our lives, they belong to him now. If you don't agree, then you will fight for your freedom in 1 week's time. As for you, Gato, he said that he holds no mercy for you because he said when this is all over, he will kill you. Gato paled in fear as he knew that Zabuza and Haku could kill him if they were not bound by contract, but this Naruto Uzumaki, he was able to defeat Zabuza and make him bedridden for a week, which means that he was screwed if he killed Tatsuno, along with Zabuza and Haku. Gato said, I am sure with the three of you together can kill him along with Sharingan no Kakashi. Tatsuno said, I will be the one to kill him, he was the one who killed my brother with that damn Chidori of his. Gato said, then it is settled. The mafia boss wannabe left the room along with Tatsuno, then Zabuza spoke up, I know that I can't beat him, Haku, but I can't ignore my pride as a swordsman. I want you to go with him if I fall down. At least I will die honorably against someone stronger than me. You will take on my legacy, since I have trained you in the silent killing style and my Kenjutsu style, Kubikiri no Ryu. Haku had tears running down her face and said, I will do as you ask, Zabuza-sama. Zabuza said, it is not Zabuza-sama anymore, it is Zabuza-san, you are Haku Mamachi, my apprentice and my adopted daughter. I have never shown it, but I have always thought of you as my daughter. Haku bowed her head, crying silently as she hugged her surrogate father lightly because of his injuries. Naruto Uzumaki, huh? The Heartless Angel, that will be a good name for your enemies to fear, kid. Zabuza thought to himself. Chapter 4 Duel of the Fates. Earth, Wind, Water and Lightning. After Naruto was done with his patrol and watching over Tazuna at the bridge. He helped the men by using Kage Bunshin to help speed up the process, then he went to travel around the woods. By mere coincidence, Haku was the lady dressed in a pink sleeveless kimono, picking herbs mainly for Zabuza to make his healing go faster. Naruto have never seen her with her hair down and became mesmerized by her beauty. He whispered, beautiful. Haku jumped in surprise and turned around to see Naruto. She blushed at the compliment, giving Naruto enough time to regain his composure. The Jinchuriki asked, so, what is the verdict, Haku? The girl replied sadly, Zabuza-sama Zabuza-san will still fight you, since he can't ignore his pride as a swordsman. Naruto said with a sigh, so it has come to this, huh? Fine, I see how it is. I really wanted him to live, but I will grant his wish. Haku said, also Gato hired another ninja Anukanin from Iowa named Tatsuno Ishizaki, he seems to hold a grudge against Kakashi Haddock for killing his brother. Naruto thought, and I look like my father too, this is going to be a bit difficult. The Jinchuriki stated, is that all? Haku nodded and Naruto bowed his head to her, preparing to leave until she grabbed Naruto's wrist and asked, why did you spare us? Naruto said, I don't kill needlessly unless I have to. I wanted to give you two a way out, since Gato will kill you after your job is done or not. Since you are not registered as a ninja and Zabuza is a Nukanin, you are much easier to get rid of. Haku said, a true shinobi is supposed to steal his or her heart and be able to kill without shedding a tear. Naruto said, I don't believe that philosophy at all, even the most hardened shinobi can shed a tear for the ones they love. We both know that I rather save lives than end them if I had a choice. I will see to it that Zabuza-san's last battle will be glorious. Haku said, thank you Naruto. Naruto turned and said, until we meet again on the battlefield. Haku nodded and turned away, heading back to the hideout. House Naruto came inside and Kakashi asked, what did you find out, Naruto? The Jinchuriki replied, you were right, Gato did hire another Nukanin. His name is Tatsuno Ishizaki, formerly from Iowa. Looks like you get to fight and also Zabuza will be fighting against me for his pride and freedom. Kakashi said, what about that Haku girl? The swordsman replied, she will be fighting, and the only thing I know about her is that she knows the human body fairly well, skilled with senbon, and mentioned a Kekkei Genkai for manipulating ice. Sasuke said, fire can defeat ice. Naruto said, in theory, yes. Ice is a sub-element, making it a bit more reinforced. But you just have to keep her from using any jutsu. The Haddock said, so I'll fight Tsuno, Naruto will fight Zabuza, and Sasuke will fight Haku. Meanwhile, Sakura will protect Izuna. Everyone nodded and went to bed, having the events of the battle tomorrow. Next morning, Team 7 woke up early to go to the bridge, while Naruto had stationed some Kage Bunshin to protect Izuna's daughter, Tsunami and Inari. As they reached the bridge, they found men groaning, and Tizuna ran to a barely conscious man. What happened? The bridge builder asked. The man mumbled, monster. Suddenly a thick mist rolled in and the team tensed up. Sakura, you know what to do. Kakashi said. The bubble-gum-haired girl nodded and took a stance in front of Tizuna, while the men walked toward the mist to meet Haku, Zabuza and Tsuno in that order. Tsuno sneered, Kakashi Haddock, do you remember a man named Ichiro Ishizaki? Kakashi said, yes, I already knew that someone would come after me for revenge. The missing ninja turned to look at Naruto and asked, kid, what is your name? Naruto answered, Uzumaki Naruto. Tsuno chuckled a bit and said, funny, you look just like the Kiroi Senko. Naruto retorted in monotone, are you sure you are not going senile, Tsuno-san? Tsuno shot back, are you sure you are not the son of? Kakashi attacked Tsuno with a kunai, who blocked it with his blood-stained blade. Zabuza said, Haku, go, I don't want you here, you might get hurt. Haku nodded and attacked Sasuke, pushing the Uchiha away from his teammate in Sensei. The wind blew across the bridge, shifting Naruto and Zabuza's clothes to one side. Are you sure you want to go through this, Zabuza-san? Naruto asked, you could live along with your daughter. Zabuza hefted his sword and answered, kid, a man knows when his time is up when he fights an opponent. I can sense great things that will happen to you, being the first one to fall against you in battle will be considered honor to me. So let's go and don't hold back or I will kill you, kid. The Jinchuriki unsealed Masamune and said, release the seal on Kubikiri Haucho, I know that is not its true form. Zabuza chuckled, only you would have noticed it, I keep it in this form because I don't like how small they are. Zabuza bit his thumb to wipe blood on the sword. Kubikiri Haucho glowed and shrank down to two katanas that look like regular, but Naruto noticed that there were small hooks like the edges on serrated knives. Picture Kenpachi Zaraki's and Pakutu, only the edges are more like a serrated knife, I like quick and clean, not jagged and messy. It is hard getting out the bits of skin from each. Zabuza commented. Naruto said, hence why you are a master at the silent killing technique. The Jinchuriki hefted Masamune poised over his left shoulder. There was silence and then they both ran at each other, the battle has begun. Tsuno and Kakashi. Tsuno said, it's ironic that both of us were trained by our own cages, you with the Yondaime Hokage and the Sandaime Tsuchikage with me. And to my luck, the Yondaime's kid is still alive too. Kakashi unsealed his Anbu Ninjato and whispered, never thought that I would need you again, Shirakami. Translation. White God. Tsuno said, your sword's name is Shirakami, eh? Mine's Shishikarasu, fitting name since the brown color is just dried blood from my previous enemies. Kakashi said, that is sickening. Tsuno said, you are one to talk since you killed my brother with blood on your hands. Kakashi said, we were at war, Tsuno. In war, it is kill or be killed, your brother knew the risks that he was taking, and he ended up with the short end of the stick. Tsuno shouted, shut up. First, I will kill you to avenge my brother, then I will kill that kid and bring his head back to Iwa to be welcomed back as a hero. Then I will kill that fool of a Tsuchikage and proceed to destroy Konoha. Kakashi lifted up his headband to show his Sharingan and said, if you think about killing Naruto, I doubt you will leave here alive because of two reasons, one, I will stop you, and two, if you manage to kill me, you will die. Naruto is strong, and even I was hard-pressed to survive against his Kenjutsu. Don't underestimate us or Konoha because we are strong and will protect our own. I killed your brother because I would have lost someone that I considered as a sister to me, and I will be damned if I lose anyone else. Tsuno said, then I guess I will have to kill that pink-haired girl of yours. Tsuno charged to move to Sakura's location, but Kakashi intercepted him. Tsuno lashed out at Kakashi, but the Jonin blocked his strike with Shirakami. Then he pulled back and thrusted at the former Iwa nin. Tsuno flicked his blade to divert Kakashi's thrust, making him stumble forward. Then Tsuno struck Kakashi with a backhand fist and tried an overhand strike, but Kakashi used his free hand to block his descending arm and kicked Tsuno in the stomach. The Iwa missing nin recovered to block a strike aimed at his torso from Kakashi and pushed back. Kakashi back-flipped in the air and landed only to end up backing up to avoid Tsuno's wild strikes. Die, 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 die. Tsuno shouted. Kakashi blocked every strike and then Tetsuno backed off to sheath his sword. He flipped through hand signs, Jinten. Genkai Hakuri no Jutsu. Kakashi's eyes widened as he thought, oh, shit, that cube has a lot of molecule-sized dust. If that thing hits me, I will rip apart molecule by molecule. Kakashi flipped through hand signs after he stabbed Shirakami in the ground, Doten. Doryuheki. The Jonin quickly spat out mud after he took down his mask and brought it back up to cover his mouth. The dust cube collided with the mud wall, making a large explosion appear. Kakashi looked around to see Tetsuno was gone. Where is he at? Wait a minute, that son of a, he thought. He quickly ran over to Tazuna and Sakura to find that Tetsuno held Sakura with Ushikarasu at her throat. Shit, cursed Kakashi. Tetsuno said, toss the sword, Hadouken this pretty little girl dies. He licked her ear, making Sakura shriek in terror. Kakashi slowly tossed Shirakami away and then Tetsuno said, now you are not so tough, are you? Kakashi said, let her go, Tetsuno. Tetsuno said, how about no? She is my insurance that you won't try anything at all. Kakashi's eyes flickered between Sakura and Tetsuno, she has nothing to do with this. Let her go now, this battle is between me and you, Tetsuno. Tetsuno said, you are right, but I will also do anything it takes to win this battle, even sacrifice this girl to win. Pity, she would have been a nice slave too. Then Sakura made her move, she stabbed Tetsuno in the leg, making the Iwanin lose his hold on her and ran away. Apparently Tetsuno forgot about the kunai that she held in her hand when he appeared behind her and captured her. Kakashi immediately engaged Tetsuno by sending a palm thrust strike to his torso, then followed up with an upward kick to the chin. Tetsuno stumbled back as Kakashi, in a sense, lit his ass up with a series of punches and kicks, making his body hurt all over. Then Kakashi kicked him away, making Tetsuno bounce and roll on the concrete floor. Kakashi took his sword back up again and moved to stand in front of Sakura and Tazuna. Tetsuno, you just made one big mistake. Shirakami began to glow and was inked with a blinding white chakra. I will show you why I call this sword Shirakami. Sasuke and Haku said, give up, Sasuke-san, and I will give you a quick death. Sasuke said, no, I can't do that, I have to get my ambition to avenge my family and also I want to prove something to Naruto and to myself that I am just as strong as he is. I will defeat you, Haku. Haku said, so be it. She began to flip through hand signs, but Sasuke shouted, Kaiten. Kakaku no Jutsu. He blew a large fireball at her, causing Haku to shunshin away from the blast, but then another fireball was headed for her. Haku dodged again and this time, Sasuke engaged her with a kunai in his hand. Haku took out a senbon and clashed against his weapon. Then they ended up in a standoff as Haku said, you are at a disadvantage. Sasuke questioned, how? You have only one hand. Haku said, this is true and there is water around us too. Haku began to do one-handed seals until the Uchiha grabbed her wrist and twisted it sharply to make her stop. He winced in pain and kicked Sasuke in the shin, making him groan and let go. She jumped away, but Sasuke followed up quickly by flipping through hand seals, Kaiten. Hausenka no Jutsu. Haku dodged to avoid the small projectiles, but one caught too close and burned her sleeve. Haku looked at it for a moment, but Sasuke smashed into her with a right hook. She flew back a bit, but the Uchiha didn't stop there. He kicked her in the chest, then grabbed her arms pulling her back towards him to execute a scorpion kick. Next, he crouched low and sweep kicked her legs, making Haku crash down to the floor. Sasuke was aiming to pin her hand to the ground with a kunai, but Haku rolled to the side and lashed out at the Uchiha with a kick. It caught Sasuke in the face and he fell to the ground. Sasuke got back on his feet to see Haku finishing her hand seals, Sensatsu Shishio. She stamped at the water, making it float in the air and convert themselves into Ice Senbon. Then they launched themselves at Sasuke, who used chakra to his legs and jumped into the air. He threw kunai at Haku, making her jump back and had a kunai hover under his foot. As he got a clear shot, he landed near Haku and kicked at her, launching the kunai at the ice user. The girl's chocolate brown eyes widened at the maneuver and tried to dodge it, but the kunai pierced through her shoulder. Haku screamed in pain, giving Sasuke the chance to hit her in the face. She rolled away and Sasuke said, give up, you can't win this fight. Haku grimaced in pain as she clutched her shoulder, trying to stop the bleeding. I will not give up, I will fight. I will not let you win, I must save Zabuza and you are in the way. Haku made one hand sign, Makyohai Asho. Suddenly a dome of ice mirrors surrounded Sasuke, making him panic. Damn it, this will be a problem. Haku said in a cold tone, Sasuke Uchiha, you will die here. Naruto and Zabuza the two clashed with each other, both of them were wounded from their strikes. Naruto's right sleeve along with some of his skin was ripped, his right cheek was slashed, and his left shoulder has a large jagged gash. Zabuza was a bit worse off with his thigh slashed, his torso had a large diagonal slash running from his shoulder down to the middle of his stomach, and his left arm was messed up pretty badly. Both of the swordsmen were tired and smiling at each other. "You know, I can't remember how much fun I had fighting anybody," Zabuza said. "Maybe it is because I am fighting without regret." Naruto said, "Maybe it is I am having fun as well." "You are a strong opponent, Zabuza. Since you don't have to swing that giant cleaver, you are faster than usual." Naruto stabbed at Zabuza, but the demon took his swords and blocked it. Zabuza pushed back and slashed at Naruto's neck, but Naruto blocked it with Masamune, only to see that Zabuza's second katana was aimed at his torso. He twisted to the side, avoiding the thrust and kicked Zabuza in the stomach, agitating the wound and making Zabuza bleed again. Naruto did an upward slash, and Zabuza was launched in the air with Naruto close behind him. Zabuza shouted, "Suiton. Suinsuryuiten no Jutsu." Two dragons made of water appeared behind Zabuza and moved over him to attack Naruto. The attack crashed into Naruto, but the Jinchuriki sliced the water dragons, making them become water once again and rain upon the bridge. Zabuza fell to the ground, but Naruto pulled out a light purple ball and placed it in his right arm, arrow. Zabuza instantly stopped and began to float in the air. Naruto descended down to Zabuza's eye view and released his black and white wings. "What are you doing?" Zabuza said. "I want to give you a glorious battle, Zabuza. We are not done yet, that technique will last until I am dead, now come." Zabuza smiled and moved toward Naruto. The Jinchuriki charged at Zabuza with Masamune poised over his left shoulder and slashed at Zabuza. The demon of the mist instinctively crossed his swords in an X position to absorb the blow, but he flew backwards. Zabuza was flipping backwards due to the force until he corrected himself. He looked around to find any trace of Naruto and found him on his right side. Naruto slashed Zabuza in half and the Jonin instantly turned into mist. Naruto's eyes widened in surprise, and then he heard a whistling sound and used Masamune to block the shuriken. "Of course, you would use the mist for your silent killing technique. This is better than I expected of you, Zabuza-san." Zabuza's voice seemed to echo as he chuckled, "Thanks, kid, now let's begin." Naruto smirked as he closed his eyes and tuned out his hearing to focus. Cloud's voice rang in his head, "There are times when your senses will be affected and you will not be able to decipher what is reality and what is fantasy. Therefore you must close your mind and senses. Instead of following your senses, you follow your heart, your feelings they will tell you what to do." Suddenly kunai and shuriken were thrown from all sides, and Naruto with his eyes closed either dodged or batted them away like flies, making them rain down to the bridge. Suddenly several Zabuzas burst from the mist's covering and attacked Naruto. One slashed at Naruto, but he backflipped in the air. Another tried to cut him from behind, but Naruto launched himself upwards to meet two Zabuza clones, poised to stab him in vital spots, but Naruto split-kicked the two away from him. The two dispelled into water while the remaining came after Naruto. The Jinchuriki slashed at the one facing him, destroying him into water. The one on his right slashed his back, Naruto hissed in pain sharply and retaliated with a strike of his own. Then he stabbed at another clone and kicked one clone into another. Finally Naruto was covered with green Mako energy and his eyes glowed as he stated, "Satellite." He spun in a 360 and a green thin blade erupted from his blade, catching the Zabuza clones on it. Naruto suddenly smirked, HMPH. He did a slight tug and the clones were cut from the waist up, making them all dispel. The real Zabuza materialized in front of him and said, "That was pretty clever of you. I think that it is time to end this fight, no more games." Naruto said, "As you wish, Mamachi Zabuza." Naruto suddenly turned around and slashed at Zabuza, who blocked the slash, but in the end, the katana was slashed in half. The ex-Miss Jonin looked at the broken katana and casted it down in the water, along with the broken blade, grasping two hands on his remaining one. Naruto also placed two hands on Masamune, and as the broken hilt disappeared into the depths of the ocean, the two attacked each other, locking in battle. Then they turned back and flew at each other, clashing several times before disappearing and then returning to attacking again. Finally Zabuza faltered from a second and Naruto charged, clashing against Zabuza, making the demon fall through the air until the both of them crashed into the middle of the bridge. Kakashi and Tetsuno looked at the glowing saber and said, What? What is that chakra? It is pure white." Kakashi said, "This is the reason why my father, Tsukumo Haddock was called the White Fang of Konoha. Originally he had two weapons, Shirokami and his Tanto, Shiratenshi. During the war, Shiratenshi was broken during the Third Great Shinobi War when I was 12 and a newly appointed Jonin. Ever since then I have never used Shirokami in battle until now. I believe that now I have to destroy the last remnant of my past. Let's go." Kakashi charged at Tetsuno, who blocked with Shishikarasu. Then a crack appeared in the middle of the brown-colored sword and Tetsuno's eyes widened in surprise. He looked into his eyes and saw a deadly glare from Kakashi's eye and his Sharingan his brother Obito's eye. Tetsuno said, "Why you?" Kakashi pushed on the blade, widening the crack further, and then Shikarasu was broken into two pieces and blood sprayed out from Tetsuno's chest. Tetsuno stumbled back as Kakashi cut his thumb with Shirokami and took out a summoning scroll and smeared blood across it. Kuchiyas. Doten. Suga no Jutsu. He slammed the scroll into the ground and intricate marking began to etch across the floor. Tetsuno moved backwards only for a dog to pop out and clamp down on his ankles, then another, and soon the rest of the pack jumped out of hiding to clamp down on Tetsuno, immobilizing his arms and shoulders. Kakashi put Shirokami away in his empty scroll and walked toward Tetsuno as he did hand signs. "You wanted to kill me for your brother, but in the end, revenge was all that consumed you. I am trying to save someone from that path or else he will have nothing to live for anymore. Your brother died by my hand with my original jutsu, it was called Chidori. Now I will show you a more powerful version Rikiri." Blue lightning erupted from his hand and made a loud shrieking sound. Tetsuno thought, that technique I can see that his chakra is literally visible. Kakashi said, "Goodbye, Tetsuno Ishizaki giving my regards to Ichiro and listen to the sound of your death." Kakashi's legs tensed up and he charged at Tetsuno. The missing eye went in thought to himself, funny, I am killed by the same person who killed my brother and to top all off, he is going to kill me with the same jutsu that killed my brother. I guess Inoki-sensei was right, revenge does consume you until you reach the end of the road to realize what you have done. At least, I will see Ichiro Nai-san again. You did well, Kakashi Haddock. Kakashi's hand plowed through Tetsuno's chest near his heart and he died with a small smile on his face. The Jonin took out his hand from the dead body and closed his eyes. "Tetsuno Ishizaki, I see that you have finally realized it. Go to your brother, Ichiro, and I hope your journey is eventful." Kakashi thought as he pulled down his headband. He walked over to Sakura and Tazuna to ask, "Are you two alright?" Sakura nodded and Tazuna said, "A little shaken, but we will be alright." Sakura said, "I am worried about Sasuke and Naruto." Kakashi looked down the bridge and said, "Don't worry, Sakura, both of them are strong, I am sure that they will defeat their opponents." Sasuke and Haku, son of a bitch, this is bad. Sasuke cursed inwardly. Senbon were sunken into his skin and every time he moved, his body was agitated with pain and due to Haku's meddling jutsu, he had no time to pull them out while he dodged. "Pain. Kikaku no jutsu." Sasuke shouted. The fireball sped across the distance and crashed into the ice, but to Sasuke's dismay, the ice mirror did not melt and only it steamed a bit. "Damn it, I can't melt these mirrors unless I use that jutsu. I have not mastered it yet due to seeing Kakashi use it once to burn the demon brothers' bodies, but I have to use it now." Sasuke moved in the middle and started his jutsu, Torahibi Tora. Suiton. Koku no jutsu. The Uchiha backed up to the edge of the dome as a small black cloud came down on the ice mirrors. "What the Haku said," and Sasuke smirked, "Kaiten. Kikaku no jutsu." Haku thought, he won't be able to burn these mirrors. Wait, the black rain is that, oh no. The fireball collided with the mirrors and due to the oil on the mirrors had caught on fire. Sasuke knelt down to the ground, panting, "That jutsu, I had to put everything I had into it. I finally won." Haku crashed out of the mirror with her clothes on fire for a moment and when she finished smothering the small flames, Sasuke was able to knock her out. Haku fell to the ground and Sasuke fell back to the ground on his butt, taking deep breaths. "I have defeated her. I defeated Haku. I have gotten stronger. I am closer to my goal, closer to defeating Naruto and defeating you, Itachi." He thought, breathing heavily with a smirk on his face. Naruto and Zabuza. The smoke cleared to reveal Naruto standing tall and his wings were retracted back into his body while Zabuza was kneeling on the ground using the remaining katana to prop himself up. Zabuza laughed, "I lost funny, I never knew that losing would make me feel human again." Naruto said nothing but stared past him. Zabuza turned to see that Gato was here along with a horde of thugs armed to the teeth. "So you were not going to pay me at all, huh?" Zabuza said. Gato said, "Hell no, you think I would pay you after you failed the first time? You are incompetent, Zabuza. You are not a demon, more like an imp, a baby demon. They say if you want something done, you got to do it yourself. Nukenin are much easier to kill since they have no affiliation with any village, so I will kill you and the other ninja." Just then Kakashi along with Sakura, Sasuke, and unconscious Haku and Tazuna rushed over to Naruto and Zabuza's position. Kakashi commented, "This is quite a predicament we are in." Naruto thought, "Cloud, how much Mako I have left to cast a cure spell?" Cloud answered, "You have enough to cast it once." Naruto thought, "Okay, I would use it on Zabuza and use Aian's chakra to help me." Aian said, "Ready when you are, Naruto." Naruto concentrated as Aian sent her chakra into Naruto's system. The Jinchuriki was shrouded with an orange haze, and his eyes shot open. What is this foul chakra he has? Zabuza thought. Kakashi thought in amazement, unbelievable, Naruto can control the fox's chakra. Sasuke thought, that power, just how much power does Naruto have? Naruto pointed at Zabuza as he stated, cure. Suddenly Zabuza was refreshed and stood up, kid, why did you heal me? Naruto said, because I figured that you would want to kill Gato before we finish up. Zabuza hefted his katana, you never cease to amaze me, Uzumaki. Let's get him. Naruto nodded and the two of them charged at the horde. Gato was scared and shouted, kill those two first, don't let them get to me. He moved toward the back while the thugs looked toward Naruto and Zabuza, who moved toward them. Naruto reached first and slashed through 3 thugs, making blood spatter on the rest. Zabuza carved through his opposition, leaving dismembered limbs and decapitated heads behind him. The thugs' morale slowly ebbed away as more bodies dropped through the floor. The angel and the demon worked together, covering each other as the stupid thugs tried to attack them, praying, hoping that one of them will fall down dead. The two were still standing strong, and soon there was only one thug left. What are you two? He asked. Naruto stabbed Masamune beside his head and said, he is Abusa Mamachi, the demon of the mist, and me, I am Naruto Uzumaki, the heartless angel. Now I have only spared your life for one purpose, to tell the events that you witnessed here today, spread my name, and what happens to people who oppressed others for their own greed. Now go or you will face the fate of your master, Gato. The lone thug cowered in fear and ran back to the ship. Gato tried to follow, but his path was blocked by Naruto and Zabuza. The Jinchuriki ran the point of his sword through Gato's stomach and lifted him up. What is this pain that you feel, Gato? I will tell you, this is the pain of the people of Wave. This is the pain of Inari, Tsunami and Tazuna for the loss of their father, husband and son-in-law Kaiza. Allow me to remind you of the pain he felt before he died. Naruto's wings appeared again as he launched a screaming tyrant into the air. Naruto followed after him and began to stab Gato in various places. He purposefully missed his vital points to make him feel as much pain as possible. Then he launched Gato down to Zabuza, who simply held on his katana out. As Gato fell down, Zabuza's katana ran through his body. Gato coughed up blood as he was set down, and Zabuza twisted his katana to make the wound harder to heal if someone were to have compassion on him. Gato dropped to his knees and then looked up at the sky. He saw Naruto's form as an angel of death. Then he looked at Zabuza and saw a silhouette of a demon behind the ex-Miss Jonin. Zabuza raised his sword and beheaded him. Sakura closed her eyes at the sight and buried her face into Sasuke's shoulder. The Uchiha, knowing about her background, let her touch him just this once. Zabuza said, nothing but a good bloodbath to get your joints working again. Naruto floated back down and his wings once again slipped back into his body. Let's end this, Zabuza Mamachi. Naruto said as he held Masamune in a samurai standoff notion. Zabuza smirked as he followed the same thing, always business with you, huh? Fine, then let's continue. The two stood still in that position for a few more minutes and then ran at each other. Devil May Cry 3 soundtrack final boss plays. Time seemed to slow as the two ran at each other, water splashing as they clashed once again. Kakashi, Team 7 and Tazuna watched silently as the two swordsmen battled each other. Each strike was aimed at a threat that would kill them, but they would block it at the last second. Naruto stabbed at Zabuza, who parried and returned a strike of his own. Naruto's cheek was cut, but then the Jinchuriki was able to slash Zabuza's ankle. Their strikes flew faster and faster, harder and harder. Sparks flew through the air as the swords clashed again and again until the two met in a lock. They launched themselves into the air and their aerial battle proceeded on. Naruto slashed Zabuza across the chest, then stabbed his right forearm, rendering it useless. Next, he kicked him downwards and Zabuza fell through the ground. The Mist Demon tried to lift himself up, but Naruto stabbed his left shoulder. Zabuza sighed, the battle is over, take my life now, Naruto. Suddenly a teardrop fell down on Zabuza's cheek and he looked to see that Naruto had tears in his eyes. Kid, don't cry for me. Zabuza said. Naruto said, how can I not? You are able to face your death head on. I wanted you to live, Zabuza, I learned so much from you just by fighting you. Zabuza said, don't worry, just do me one favor, protect Haku, protect my daughter with your life, and treat her well. Haku's eyes fluttered open as Zabuza continued, I want you to make sure that she lives a good life. I have lived my life to the fullest already and don't want her to waste her life trying to save mine. End it now, Naruto Uzumaki, and become the Heartless Angel. Naruto closed his eyes and opened them back again, as you wish, goodbye, Zabuza Mamachi, the demon of the bloody mist. Haku tried to move towards her father figure, but Kakashi caught her and Naruto ran Masamune through Zabuza's heart, granting him his wish. Haku screamed and ran towards Zabuza while Naruto shedded silent tears. Zabuza slowly turned his head to Haku and reached to caress her face. Haku, I didn't want you to see this, I knew that you wouldn't accept it at all, but this was the only way to free you. So don't blame Naruto for this. I want you to be happy, go to Konoha with Naruto and live on. This is my last wish." Haku bowed her head and said, "I will do as you ask, father." Zabuza gave her a soft smile and his eyes closed for the last time. Haku cried for her father, crying on his chest while Naruto's wings stretched out for one last time and the white wing tipped downwards as if it was respecting the man once known as the Demon of the Mist. 1 week later, Zabuza and Tatsuno were buried, their katana were stabbed into the earth to mark their presence. Tazuna with the help of Team 7 and Haku Mamachi refurnished the bridge after the climactic battle. Naruto and Haku went to Zabuza's grave to give their respects. For the first 3 days, Haku wouldn't talk to Naruto and he respected her wishes. He knew that if someone who have killed someone close to him, say the Hokage for example, and he knew that person was an ally, he wouldn't talk to him or her either. Sasuke and Sakura were the same as always, the Uchiha was always training to measure up to Naruto and his brother Itachi, while Sakura was swooning over Sasuke. Cloud told Naruto to watch Sasuke careful, noticing the signs of a new Sephiroth on the wings. Kakashi sat around reading and on occasion, he would visit Tatsuno's grave. As they said their goodbyes to the people of Wave, Tazuna and Inari christened the bridge the Great Naruto Bridge, after the hero of Wave. So one legend ended and in its place, another was born. The Heartless Angel was unleashed and nobody could stop it. Konoha Naruto walked beside Haku, while Sasuke and Sakura stood further away from the two. Sasuke was wary of Haku, thinking that she might try to attack him from behind since she was the enemy, and Sakura was wary of Haku because she had a one-track mind that she was after her Sasuke-kun. But the most important thing is that Naruto seemed to be friendly with her, and witnessing that he killed mercenaries and Zabuza Mamachi without hesitation, well, the mercenaries. But the point was that he would kill them both in an instant if one hair was misplaced on Haku. As the 4 of them including Kakashi walked into the premises of the Hokage's mission room, Sarutobi looked up and said, "Welcome back, Team 7, I trusted your mission was easy and bearable. Who is this?" Kakashi said, "This mission report explains everything you see. We were moving toward Nami when I noticed a Jinjutsu, a puddle on the side of the road on a sunny day. I knew that there were ninja in the road, but I don't know if they were after the client or us, so I pretended to be caught in their trap and watched from a distance." Naruto noticed the Jinjutsu and dispatched one of the demon brothers. He also revealed that he knew something was up with the client due to his expressions, but he had to confirm them. "Due to democracy, we decided to move on. Then we encountered Zabuza Mamachi, the demon of the mist. I was about to fight him, but Naruto asked permission to fight with him. I relented and Naruto was able to take down Zabuza using techniques unique to him. After that, this girl, an apprentice of Zabuza's, tried to take him away, but Naruto caught her and forced her to tell about her life story. After listening, Naruto released her and offered Zabuza and Haku to join our village. Haku was uncertain, but Zabuza chose to fight for his freedom and pride as a swordsman. Meanwhile, the one who was trying to kill our client with a Nukenin, Gato of Gato Industries, hired another Nukenin, Tatsuno Ishizaki, to help. Apparently I was the one who killed his brother back in the Third Great Shinobi War, so he held a grudge against me and the Yondaime. So after a week, Naruto, Sasuke and I fought Zabuza, Haku and Tatsuno, while Sakura protected Tazuna, the client. Sasuke and I defeated Haku and Tatsuno while Naruto was still finishing up his battle, then Gato and a horde of mercenaries came in. When Gato threatened to kill us and take Sakura and Haku as his slaves, both Zabuza and Naruto went berserk and killed all of the mercenaries except one, then they moved on to Gato, and Naruto flew up in the air, with a pair of black and white wings coming out of his back, stabbing Gato. Then he let Gato fall and impale himself on Zabuza's sword. After that, Zabuza and Naruto finished their fight. His last wish was to have Haku return here and Naruto to protect her from harm. Sarutobi was surprised to say the least as he looked at Naruto. He is so calm about this too, despite his praise from Kakashi and defeating Zabuza in combat. He even killed at a young age and so many too, despite them being thugs. Sarutobi said, "Very well, Naruto, I will accommodate you with a new house since your apartment is too small to fit for 2 people. Naruto nodded and Sarutobi tossed him the deed and keys to the house, knowing well who it used to belong to. "Alright, Team 7, you will be on temporary leave until 2 weeks from now." Sasuke thought, good, I can train and use the time to figure out Naruto's mysterious power. Sakura thought, yes, I can finally fix my face, nails, eyelashes, makeups, toes, etc. Naruto thought, I guess I could train for a while, but I gonna have to use the time to interact with Haku. Sarutobi said, you all are dismissed. Everyone left the room to go to do what they always do. Naruto and Haku, the two, walked inside the house and Naruto immediately asked, Haku? The ice user answered, yes. The Jinchuriki said, are you angry with me for killing Zabuza? Haku bit her lip and answered, a little, yes, but Zabuza-san wanted to do it, I saw it in his eyes. He knew that his time was up and he knew that his pride would not let him back out. I cried the day he told me about his decision and I was going to try and kill you, but when I saw your face and when you called me beautiful, I realized that I couldn't do it no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't kill you. But you tried to let Zabuza to back out and he wouldn't, you even shed tears for him, so I'm glad that I am here with you. Naruto smiled, I see, I would have done the same thing if you happened to kill someone close to me. In a sense, we both need each other to support each other, the things that we have in common are that the death of Zabuza has affected us both and that we had similar lifestyles. A burden was thrust upon us and we were shunned because of the things that they feared. Haku said, what is your burden? Your wings. Naruto shook his head, no, since you are not part of Konoha yet and I trust you, I will speak of my burden. 13 years ago, a battle was fought in Konoha. The village was losing badly because of one thing that was the Kyuubi no Kitsune, it attacked out of nowhere as if it had been summoned. The Yondaime Hokage was able to stop it, but by doing so, he had to condemn 2 lives, his own life to make the jutsu work since it summoned the Shinigami in another life, a small child who would become the jailer of the Kyuubi, a Jinchuriki. That child was me and somehow people knew my status and I was beaten, shunned and hated for it. When I became 4 years old, I met the Kyuubi and found out the reason behind it all. The Kyuubi was controlled by a person named Madara Uchiha. He was supposed to be dead, but somehow gained immortality, therefore it is my solemn word that I will fight and kill the one who put this burden on me. Haku was shocked at Naruto's burden. She was never beaten, but to do that to a child was unspeakable. How Naruto survived the ordeal to become a gentle pacifist who fought and kill when necessary was beyond her. And to make matters worse, Madara Uchiha is the one who made my father, the Yondaime, had to kill himself using that Kenjutsu to put this seal on my stomach. Naruto said as he unzipped his vest to show the scars and the seal. Haku fought the urge to throw up as she saw the grotesque scars etched all over his chiseled chest. She said, your father was the Yondaime? Naruto nodded, yes, he was. It was obvious when I compared my looks to his picture. He wished to see me as a hero, but instead I was treated like a pariah, and the family whose ancestor was the cause of all this has everything handed to him on a silver platter. Haku said, Naruto, how did you survive this? Naruto gave her a soft smile, that is easy, I had friends to hide my true strength, I acted like a fool, an idiot that craves attention, I even went to dress in that orange jumpsuit that you see over there. The Hokage was the first one to accept me, then came Tuchi and Ayam-chan, then Iruka-sensei and finally Hinata-chan. She was the one who admires my strength and my mask, the will to never give up. Although it went along with my mask, I still have that will. You, Haku, have a similar situation like mine, we both had to survive by getting street smarts until someone started to care. Now as your father did for you, I will do the same in his honor. I will protect you with my life, Haku Mamachi. Haku said to herself, Naruto-kun, I see, you have so much heart, larger than any of us. I understand now, Tusan, you were the first to realize the strength of his. He was shunned for being a jail, and yet he still wants to protect his friends despite of his status. She hugged Naruto, Naruto, The Jinchuriki said, Haku-chan, actions speak louder than words. He hugged her back and said, thank you. Haku blushed at her new nickname, but Naruto didn't see it. Now let's get you some clothes and new weapons as well, then we will have you register as a combat medic ninja and you can work at the hospital. He said. Haku nodded, not trusting her voice, and the two took off. They first stopped into the Higurashi shop and stepped in. This is the Higurashi shop where the best weapons and shinobi attire are made. Naruto said to her, Senbon, kunai, zanbatsu, katana, you name it they got it. A rugged man with 3 scars running from his cheek to his jawbone came in, oh, Naruto, you are back, and I see that you have a girlfriend already too. Nice choice. Both Naruto and Haku blushed a bit as Naruto said, Haku-chan is just a friend, if she wants to be more, then we will see if we can work things out, Ryashi-san. Ryashi said, alright then, I am assuming that you are looking for something for Haku-chan. Naruto said, correct, I will let Haku choose her own clothes and weapons. After all, this is her shopping and I am just paying for it. Ryashi said, okay, just let me know when you are going to pay. Naruto nodded and ushered Haku away to the women's section, and Haku tried on some outfits, mostly some dark blue and gray clothes. The one that she insisted that she would wear was a long-sleeved dark blue turtleneck shirt and she had standard jonin pants, only they were black and she had black tape wrapped around her ankles. The pants showed every aspect of her femininity, then she asked Ryashi if she could have something special made, a leather jacket that had the Mamachi name on the back and the shoulder of the right arm have a snowflake. Ryashi nodded and then she took 30 packs of senbon off the pack and she fell in love with a white sword. Naruto bought the clothing and weapons, while Haku named her sword she named it Hakureisaiga, an. Translation White Spirit Fang, the sword was completely white with a teal blue tassel at the end. Ryashi explained that the sword was sentient and responds to her chakra type. If she was a fire type, then she would be able to make fire nature chakra blasts at her opponent. Now imagine wind, water and ice chakra blasts being fired from her sword. She wore it on her back just like her father did long ago. Naruto thanked Ryashi and walked out of the store. Next, they went to a formal clothing store in case Haku went out with someone or some friends of hers. She bought a nice blue dress, a sleeveless black dress, a white dress that complemented her white dress and a kimono that had white snowflakes embroidered all over, and a cerulean blue was under the falling flakes. Then they moved to the Hokage's office to register her as a combat medical ninja with the Hokage's seal on it. After that, Naruto escorted her to the hospital, while he sent the cage bunchins with her stuff back to the house and got her a job. People began to stare at them as they walked inside the hospital. Naruto said, "Hello, Dr. San, the Hokage would like this lady here to get a job since she will be a combat medical ninja." The doctor nodded and called a nurse to help her get situated. Then Naruto threatened the doctor, "Look, I know that you don't like me because of the Kyuubi. Yes, I know about my burden. So listen good, if you dare try to hurt her in any shape or form, I will kill your family in front of your eyes and feed their insides to you before you die, got it?" The boy said. The doctor nodded his head quickly and Naruto said, "Okay, then I will be leaving. Good day to you, Dr. San. I pray that we will never meet again." Naruto met Haku after she got a tour of the hospital, and then Naruto gave her a tour of the village Ichiraku Ramen, the barbeque shop, the training grounds, the ninja academy, the hotels, the library and the Hokage monument, all the while knowing that Sarutobi was watching them, along with an Anbu patrol that was tailing them. After they toured the village, then the two went home and eat dinner with Naruto cooking. Haku was surprised at his culinary skills, and Naruto offered her to teach her some more since she was the cook between Zabuza and herself. Naruto cooked stir-fry using bits of steak and fish in the pot, yellow rice with onions, and he made homemade lemonade for them to drink. Then he showed Haku to her room and where the bathroom is since he made his cage bunchin explore the house as they dropped off the bags of clothes and weapons. The two went to bed and soon Naruto drifted off to sleep. In the middle of the night, it started to rain and there was a soft knock on Naruto's door. Naruto woke up instantly and had a kunai hidden in his sleeve. He opened the door a crack to see Haku in front of the door. "Haku-chan, you can't sleep?" he asked. Haku nodded, "I don't like thunderstorms and they remind me of my home in the mist. There were a lot of storms back in my village. Can I stay here tonight?" Inside his head, Ayan was laughing at Naruto, while Cloud along with Sephiroth were impassive about it. Naruto said, "Sure, Haku-chan, you can." Ayan shut her mouth and started to rant about ice bitches trying to seduce her vessel. He opened the door, revealing Haku's attire, which was a nightgown that was a bit see-through. Naruto went to bed and Haku followed after him, sleeping with her back to him. Naruto saw her jump a bit as the thunder cracked a bit. He wrapped his arms around her waist, making her relax, and he heard her breathing slowed a bit and she slipped into his embrace as she drifted off to sleep. Naruto soon drifted off to sleep as the smell of her hair laced with vanilla made him drift off to sleep. The next morning, Naruto woke up with the sun piercing through the blinds. Damn the sun. Naruto thought. He looked to see Haku wrapped in his arms using his chest as a pillow, and he felt her right leg was in between his own and rubbing against something everyone knows damn well what it was. The Jinchuriki thought, well, this is quite a predicament that I am in. He silently made a sealess cage bunchin and then he replaced himself with it. Haku shifted a bit and snuggled closer to the clone, making it blush a bit. Naruto moved down to cook breakfast for both of them after he took a cold shower since Haku unintentionally gave him morning wood. After he was finished with breakfast, he sat in the chair and read the prologue of Loveless. When the war of the beasts brings about the world's end, the goddess descends from the sky, wings of light and dark spread afar, she guides us to bliss, her gift everlasting. Thus then Haku came in and Naruto said, "Oh, Haku-chan, you are awake." Haku said, "Oh gee, good morning," and Naruto-kun. Naruto thought, I see, she is not used to me calling her that yet. Haku said, "Ah no," and Naruto-kun. Naruto said, "Yes, Haku-chan." Haku said, "I wanted to thank you for allowing me to stay with you last night." The Jinchuriki replied, "No problem, Haku-chan, when we are through with breakfast, I was wondering if I could introduce you to some of my friends. I am sure that you and Hinata-chan will be great friends when you two meet." Haku said, "That is fine, what was that book that you were reading?" Naruto said, "Oh, this. It is titled Loveless, but the author is unknown. I don't know why but I like it and I think that is somehow it refers to me." Haku said, "It sounds beautiful and tragic at the same time." Naruto said, "So it seems anyway, let's eat and then we can go see my friends." Training Ground 10. Naruto and Haku walked together to find the typical side of Team 10, which was Shikamaru lying on the ground, looking at the clouds, Choji doing the same with chips in his hand, and Ino trying to motivate the two to train. Naruto smirked, "I think you three should train or else somebody might just beat you up." Ino turned her head to see Naruto and said, "Naruto." The Jinchuriki said, "Yo." The Yamanaka looked at him, "When did you change into that?" Naruto said, "You weren't paying attention. I changed when on the day of the graduation exam, or you were probably too caught up when I questioned Sasuke's sexual preferences." Ino's cheeks burned in embarrassment and she tried to punch Naruto in the head, but the Jinchuriki stopped it with 2 fingers. "And as always your taijutsu is still weak, but enough about that, I would like you to meet my friend Haku Mamachi. She just recently moved to Konoha with us on our last mission." Haku bowed and said, "It is a pleasure to meet you all." Naruto said, "Haku, the lazy boy with the ponytail is Shikamaru Nara, don't underestimate him, since he is a freaking genius. The plump boy is Choji Akimichi, he loves to eat, but he is loyal to his friends to a fault and he has the biggest heart. The one in front of me is Ino Yamanaka, one of Sasuke's fangirls. She is also bossy and assertive." Ino growled at him for insulting her and Naruto continued, "But she is very kind and outspoken, she is second to Sakura in intelligence." Ino blinked, "Did you just insult me and compliment me in the same sentence?" Naruto raised an eyebrow, "Yes, is that a problem?" Ino said, "I don't know whether to hit you or say thank you." Naruto smirked at her, "I am pretty sure you can't do the first one, so you can try the second one." Ino said, "Why you?" Naruto dodged backwards while he moved toward Haku, "Anyway we have to go, I will see you all later, and Shikamaru expect a shogi match sometime." Naruto did a leaf shunshin with Haku close to his waist. Ino said, "That Naruto I will never understand him at all." Then she thought, though he is quite strong for a so-called dead last, and he seems more mature too. Training Ground 8 Hinata was watching as Kiba and Akamaru played around, while Shino took the time to explore and look for more species. Then Naruto along with Haku popped up, "Hey, Hinata-chan." Hinata jumped and said, "Naruto-kun, don't do that." Naruto smiled, Gomen, I was in a bit of a hurry, it is quite serious when a blonde with an anger problem closer to her nose tries to punch you." Hinata noticed Haku and looked at his hand on her waist, "Naruto-kun, who is this?" Naruto said, "Oh, where are my manners? This is Haku Mamachi, she just recently moved to Konoha with us when my team was on our last mission." Hinata said, "It is nice to meet you, Haku-san." Haku said, "Likewise, Hinata-san." Thus then Kiba and Akamaru came up to them, "Oh, hey, Naruto, who is this girl?" The dog boy said with a feral grin. Naruto said, "This is my friend Haku Mamachi, she just moved to Konoha recently and I would kindly ask you to keep your eyes level to her head, Kiba." Kiba was a bit embarrassed being caught by Naruto and Haku felt a bit violated that she was being checked out. Naruto then reached behind his ear and saw a beetle on Naruto's finger, he sent chakra into the beetle and it flew off to find Shino. A few minutes later, Shino came out from the woods and Naruto said, "You know, Shino, you could just say hello instead of planting a beetle on my neck to identify me." Shino said, "You can't be too careful, Naruto. There is a chance that people might try to impersonate you." Naruto said, "I doubt that highly, Shino. In order for them to do that, they would have to take me out and I am very hard to kill. Anyway, this is my friend Haku Mamachi." Shino said, "Aburam Shino, it is a pleasure to meet you. Where did you meet her?" Naruto said, "She is a refugee from the mist, she was trying to escape the carnage in the mist, so we happened to take her to Konoha." Shino said, "Really now?" He glanced at Hinata, who was a bit worried about her crush on this new girl. "Well, then I wish you the best of luck, Haku." Haku said, "Likewise, Shino-san." Naruto said, "Well, we will be going now, goodbye, I will see you later, Hinata-chan." He took Haku away and Hinata had a worried look on her face, "Does she like Naruto-kun? Do I have a chance against her? Sakura was bad enough, but now Haku-san too." Shino thought, this is bad now, Hinata's confidence is going down by that performance, I hope Naruto sets her straight before this happens. Now for the rest of the 2 weeks, Naruto spent his time with Haku and Hinata, sometimes both together. Naruto helped Haku with Zabuza's Kenjutsu style, since he was the one who seen it to the fullest, and Haku filled in the blanks from her memories. Hinata was helped with her taijutsu and often sparred against Naruto, who spared her no mercy against her in order to improve. Naruto's unique style was comprised of ancient taijutsu, such as Muay Thai, Aikido and Cloud, taught him a bit of his friend Tifa Lockhart's moves, and usually Hinata would have all sorts of bruises, but she got better over time, and Naruto would use his cure materia to heal her. Soon Team 7 started back up again, and Haku worked at the hospital, no one dared to mess with Haku, as Naruto's fresh threat still hung in the air. As Naruto spent time with Team 7, he started to let Sasuke and Sakura handle the missions and hang in the shadows, infuriating Sasuke for not getting any strong guys to test his skill and the fact that he could never find Naruto or the place where he trained at. He would ask Hinata, but he wouldn't stoop low to interact with a Hyuga. The Uchiha and the Hyuga were at odds with each other for terms of strength, and Haku was nowhere to be found when needed. Sakura noticed the frustration in her crush and immediately knew that Naruto was involved with it. After the mission, Kakashi voiced, "Our teamwork seems to be lacking a bit." Sakura said, "It is because of Naruto, he never wants to socialize with us." The Jinchuriki said nothing and Kakashi said, "That might be true, but he is only part of the problem. You two don't socialize with him either, mainly Sasuke wants to figure out Naruto's training method, and Sakura, you could care less about him because all you focus on is Sasuke." Sasuke's face burned as he had been found out and Sakura had the decency to look sheepish. Naruto said, "What? You didn't think I knew that you were trying to find me? Your chakra signature is unique to me since I have been around you for some time, and the reason I don't socialize with either of you is because you two never bother to befriend me at all. Hell, your ex-best friend Ino talked to me when she was little, just not that much since she is lusting after Sasuke. Sakura, when I had that mask on, you instantly went with the crowd, you belittle and insulted me for being below you in grades and performance. Sasuke, after the massacre, you never bother with anyone, just sat in the corner with your hands interlaced and a permanent scowl on your face. When anyone tried to befriend or even associate you, you would turn them away because they were below you or believed that they weren't a challenge at all. I used the mask for personal reasons of my own to see who I can trust and who I can't. You two are the primary candidates. Unless Sakura grows some breasts and act like a real kunoichi, and if Sasuke stops thinking about revenge with his one-track mind, then I can't work with him. That is my decision about this matter." Kakashi noticed an eagle circling overhead. "Okay, that is it for today, I have to submit the report for today's mission." The Jonin did a hand sign and poofed away while Naruto walked away. Sasuke and Sakura tried to follow him, but when they got to the corner, he vanished. Sasuke and Sakura moved toward Naruto's apartment, forgetting that Naruto got a new house. Then Naruto silently dropped out of the tree and noticed a square box with eye holes in it. The boy sighed and kicked the box over. "Konohamaru, Mogi, Yuden, this is not how you hide yourselves. A rock is supposed to be bumpy, not like a box." Konohamaru said, "Just what I expected from my rival." The story goes when Konohamaru barges into the office to attack the Hokage, he tripped on his scarf when he looked around. Naruto has walked in to talk Sarutobi and ultimately Konohamaru accused him of tripping him. Naruto tried to reason with the boy, but he was stubborn like his name and ended up knocking Konohamaru in his head. Next, Konohamaru decided to follow Naruto to get training from him and Naruto agreed, noticing that Konohamaru was like his mask. Therefore Naruto went to the library and taught him Muay Thai, knowing that Sarutobi Jai-san would teach him the monkey fighting style, but then Abisu, Konohamaru's mentor, found them and tried to take Konohamaru back, but the boy put to use his brief training and landed a hit on his mentor. Naruto decided to step in and showed Konohamaru the proper move. Abisu charged at Naruto and sent a kick at Naruto, who grabbed it and knee the sole, making the foot dislocate, then he dragged Abisu's leg back on his shoulder, making him do a split, and Abisu was put in the hospital for a few days. Naruto, are you free?" Mogi asked timidly. Naruto smiled, "Yes, what game would you like to play today?" Then Sakura said, "So you would play ninja rather than socialize with us?" Naruto said, "It beats listening to your voice and Sasuke's ranting." Sakura became angered and punched Naruto in the face, but Naruto didn't move an inch. "Mogi-chan, if there is a cute boy in the academy, don't focus on him, instead focus on becoming a real kunoichi like Hinata-chan, or you will become like this, weak and misguided." Sakura's anger skyrocketed and Konohamaru along with Mogi and Yuden cowered behind Naruto, and then Sakura threw a kunai at Naruto to scare him. Naruto shifted his head to the side. Then a cry of pain shouted out and Naruto turned to see a guy with makeup on his face like a kabuki and a cat-like suit along a four-pigtailed blonde with a bit of muscle and a large fan on her back. The boy was clutching his arm and Naruto noticed that Sakura's kunai had scraped his arm. "You little brats, which one of you did that?" the boy asked angrily. Naruto said, "The children have nothing to do with this." The boy said, "One of those little fuckers scratched my arm." The girl said, "You are worried over a scratch, Kankuro. Let it be." Kankuro said, "Shut up, Tamari, one of them is going to." He didn't finish his sentence since Naruto had first Tsurugi in his hand in front of Kankuro's face. "Kankuro-san, listen to the pretty lady beside you. Oh, and tell your friend to come down, you too, Sasuke," Naruto said dangerously. Suddenly a red head appeared beside Tamari and Sasuke jumped down. Kankuro backed away from Naruto's first Tsurugi and then Naruto took it and hefted it over his shoulder. "Now, Tamari-san, is it?" Naruto asked the blonde. The girl nodded and Naruto introduced himself. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki and I am honored to meet your acquaintance. Seeing that you are the level-headed one of the group, can you explain why your team is here?" Tamari said, "You don't know. The Chunin exams are about to begin and it is taking place here in Konoha." Naruto said, "Ah, that would explain everything." Sasuke said, "What is the Chunin exam?" Naruto stated, it is an exam to promote genin to the next level of responsibility Chunin. Chunin can command other genin, and they must have tactical prowess and leadership. Strong ninja from each village come to strengthen their ties and show their country's strength. Naruto added in his thoughts, it also means that I can get off this team and do solo missions or group work with others. The redhead spoke, you two, the blonde and the black-haired one, what are your names? Sasuke said, Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto said, Naruto Uzumaki. The redhead said, my name is Gaara of the desert, I will look forward to seeing you two in the exams. Naruto nodded and said to Temari, it was nice meeting you, Temari-san. I would look forward to see you soon. Temari blushed as she nodded and walked away with Kankuro and Gaara. Konohamaru said, boss, how the hell do you do that? Naruto said, what? Konohamaru said, get that girl to blush. I mean, you didn't even know her and she just turns red. Naruto said, you just have to be yourself and be polite, I teach you about this when you are older. Besides, if I am not careful with you, you might be making Mogi-chan blush. Both Konohamaru and Mogi blushed and looked away from each other as Naruto chuckled at them. Yuden looked at the two and Naruto smiled, don't worry, Yuden, I will teach you too. You just got to be more active. Naruto went with the 3 academy students who were pestering him with questions. Sakura thought, is it me or Naruto tends to be more relaxed around children? She and Sasuke followed them and then after that, the 3 ninjas in a nearby tree jumped down. Their headband had a musical symbol on the middle and the black-haired kid asked, what do you think? The bandaged one said, nothing serious, but the blonde, the black-haired ninja and the one with the gourd are the ones to be careful around. Then a voice said, I hope you 3 are not planning something. The 3 looked up to see Naruto hanging upside down over them, or I am going to have to subdue the 3 of you, but first, names. The black-haired nin questioned, why should we give you our names? Naruto said, because the fact that I just came here undetected, I could have killed you 3 in moments, but I am letting you live because of the exams. Now back to my statements, names. The bandaged one said, Kanuta Dosu. The black-haired boy said, Abumi Zaku. The girl said, Tsuchi Kin. Naruto said, Golden, A. Pretty name, well, you 3 already know my name, so I look forward to seeing you in the exams, and oh, if you think about killing Sasuke, I won't be merciful to you 3. The 3 nodded vigorously since Naruto's killing intent and glowing eyes helped the matter. Then the boy poofed away since he was a cage bunshin. The next day, Kakashi announced that he had recommended them for the Chunin exams. Naruto instantly knew that the exams would force them to work together as a team, which was part of the reason why Kakashi recommended them for it. Naruto instantly signed his, and he knew that Sasuke would too, but Sakura, he had a hunch that she was in conflict with herself. She wanted to go to impress Sasuke, but didn't have the necessary skills to survive in the exam. Either way, it didn't matter, he could wait until the next time, and it wasn't like Madara Uchiha was going to show anytime soon. The next day, Naruto was surprised to see Sakura, but her face showed that she was still unsure about the exam. Sasuke noticed it too, so when they walked inside to see the Jinjutsu on the wall, the Uchiha took the time to boost up her confidence by telling the genin that she was the first to notice the Jinjutsu. This is when they met Rock Lee and Neji Hyuga. Rock Lee was the dead last from last year, and Neji Hyuga was last year's Rookie of the Year. The girl was named Tenten, and she was admiring Naruto's first tsurugi that he had in the holster. Next, Lee chose to fight Sasuke. To Naruto's amusement, Sasuke got his ass kicked, but to his dismay, Sasuke was able to activate his Sharingan during the battle, making things difficult for Naruto and his collection of jutsu. After that, they proceeded upstairs to go to take the test. They opened the door, and Team 7 along with others took their steps into the world of new challenges called the Chunin exams. Sasuke-kun. Ino shouted as she glumped Sasuke, and Sakura as usual started a shouting match against her former best friend. Naruto said, Ino-san, Sakura, can you two please keep your voices down? You are making a scene. Shikamaru came up, you are taking this stupid test too. Don't die. Naruto smirked, shouldn't we be saying that, Shikamaru? Ino said, hey, Naruto, where did you get that sword, isn't it heavy? Naruto said, no, I had a lot of training, so I could use it, I can practically swing this like it was a stick. Ino said, how much does it weigh? Naruto said nonchalantly, 100 kilograms. Ino said, what? 100 kilograms? Naruto said, yeah, it is not that big of a deal. Then Kiba shouted, Yahoo, found you. Well, it seems that the Rookie 9 are back together again. Shikamaru said, you too. Kiba said, I wonder how far we will get, Sasuke? Sasuke replied, you seem pretty confident, Kiba. Kiba said, of course, we did a lot of training, we won't lose to you. Naruto said, careful, arrogance and confidence walk side by side, you can teeter on either side and be destroyed. Kiba said, you should take your own advice, you can't beat me, Naruto, despite that big cleaver on your back. Naruto said, you have no idea what I can do, Kibo lot has changed in 3 months. Suddenly a new voice appeared, hey, you guys, you should be a bit quieter. You guys are rookies alright, screaming like little schoolgirls. This is not a picnic. Ino said, who do you think that you are? The boy said, I am Kabuto Yakushi and to prove my point, you should look behind you. Everyone looked to see a team of pissed off AIM team, but Naruto turned to look at them and the AIM genin suddenly turned away. Kabuto thought, interesting. Then the genin said, you remind me of how I used to be. Sakura said, Kabuto-san, right. Is this your second time? Kabuto said, nope, this is my 7th time. The exam is held twice a year, so this is my 4th time taking it. Sakura said, so that means you know a lot about this exam. Kabuto nodded and pulled out a deck of cards, naturally, and since you are rookies, I will share my info with my ninja info cards. Sakura said, ninja info cards. Kabuto explained, they are basically cards that have information burned on them with chakra. I have 4 years of information over 200 cards. Kabuto drew a card that appeared blank as he said, they might appear blank, but to open the info on the cards is to use your chakra and they only respond to your chakra only. The card revealed a graph and Ino said, wow, it's really easy to read graph, what kind of info is this? Kabuto answered, this is the number of teams that are taking this exam and a breakdown of what country they hail from. Naruto glanced at it and thought, so there are 10 teams from Suna, 7 teams from AIM, 2 teams from Grass, 29 teams from Konoha, and 1 team from Odo. Sasuke asked, do you have information on individuals? Kabuto said, oh. There are some guys that you are worried about. Of course the information on all the exam's participants are not perfect, but I do have it. Even you guys, but I will say something about them and take a look. Sasuke said, Sabaku no Gara Rock Lee of Konoha and Uzumaki Naruto. Iba thought, what has got Sasuke so worked up about Naruto? Kabuto said, you know their names, then this should be easy. Kabuto drew 3 cards and Sasuke said, show me. Kabuto said, okay, first is Rock Lee, he is a year older than you guys and has completed 20 D rank and 12 C rank missions. His sensei is Might Guy, his taijutsu has greatly improved over the year, but he has seemed to have no ninjutsu or jinjutsu. Last year he gained attention as a new genin, but didn't participate in the last exam. His teammates are Niji Hyuga and Tenten. Kabuto drew the second card, next is Sabaku no Gara, there is not a lot of information on him, since he is new and a foreigner. He has completed 8 C rank missions and wow, a B rank. It has been said that from all of his missions, he has come back from every single one without a scratch. Kabuto drew the last card, finally is Naruto Uzumaki, holy shit, are you serious? He has completed 15 D rank, 1 B rank, 1 A rank, he has a nickname called the Heartless Angel, and it is rumored when he kills, wings of black and white appeared from his back. He has killed A rank Nukanins Abusa Mamachi, formerly from Kiri. His Kenjutsu is extraordinary, his Taijutsu and Jinjutsu there are no information on it. He has shown that he can do a B rank ninjutsu, also he has killed over 100 mercenaries, along with Zabuza Mamachi, including Gato of Gato Incorporated. The rookie 9 looked at Naruto in a mix of fear and respect, then Naruto said, what? I did what I had to do plus Gato was pissing me off, so I killed him. Kiba said, why you killed an A rank Nukanin by yourself? Naruto said, yes. Kiba thought, note to self. Stay away from Naruto with his sword. Kabuto said, everyone here from the various countries are here to take the exam and filled with talented youngsters. Hinata said, M makes you lose confidence. Sakura said, so the ones who are here. Kabuto answered, yup, like Gaara, Lee and Naruto, they are all the top elite genin from their reigning country. Naruto said, TCH, please it all depends on your brain and your skill, and by the looks of this, some of the people here are pretty stupid, especially the ones who are trying to stare me down. Naruto looked at the crowd to see that some of the people, mostly from Konoha, were wilting under Naruto's gaze. Suddenly a voice shouted out, quiet down, you worthless bastards. The genin said, what is this? Suddenly a man with scars on his face dressed in a black trench coat appeared with various chunin behind him. Naruto smirked as he thought, Ibiki Marino, the mind surgeon, this sounds interesting. Ibiki said with a smirk, thanks for waiting, I am Ibiki Marino, the first examiner for the chunin selection exam. Some of the genin were unnerved at the sight of the man and the glare in his eyes. First rule, there will be no fighting during the exam without permission of the examiner. Even I give you permission, killing is not tolerated. If you don't follow those rules, you will be failed immediately. Do I make myself clear? The genin said nothing, but Naruto smiled and saluted Ibiki. The examiner saw this and smirked at Naruto, this kid is not afraid of my intimidation axe, I will have fun cracking this kid. Then the proctor said, we will now start the first phase of the chunin exams. Instead of your current seating arrangements, you will pick up one of these tabs and sit in the seat assigned to you, then we will hand out the exams. The Chunins behind him lifted up papers in their hands, soon everyone was seated appropriately and Naruto, by chance, happened to sit by Tenten and Hinata. Tenten whispered, "Is that true that you killed Zabuza Mamachi, one of the 7 shinobi swordsmen of the mist? He is said to be the second strongest of the 7. Naruto said, "Yes, but to honor him I left his sword at his burial site and placed a seal on the sword. Nobody can ever get the sword unless I will it. Zabuza was one of the toughest opponents that I have faced. Now let's do our best, Tenten, Hinata." Hinata said, "Right." Naruto smirked at Hinata and she said, What is with the smirk, Naruto-kun?" Naruto said, "You are not stuttering, Hinata-chan." Hinata said, Wait, you are right." Naruto said, "Good, now we just got to get your confidence up too." Hinata thought, "My confidence is always up around you, Naruto-kun." Hibiki said, "Don't turn your test over just yet, listen closely, there are many important rules to the test, I will write it out the board while I explain, and no questions will be allowed." Sakura said, "Rules? No questions allowed." Hibiki said, "First rule, you all start off with 10 points, and since there are 10 questions on the test, each question is worth 1 point. You miss one, you have 9 left. Second rule, this is a team test, whether you pass or fail depends on the combined score of your teammates. So each team will compete to see how many points they can hold on to up to 30. Third rule, during this test, if anyone, and I mean anyone, is caught cheating will have 2 points deducted for every offense. So there will be some that will lose their points and be asked to leave." Hitetsu said from the corner, "We have our eyes on you guys." The genin began to fidget and Hibiki said, "Realize that the pathetic ones caught cheating will be destroying themselves. As shinobi trying to be chunin, be proud ninjas." Hibiki said, "Now the final rule, those that lose all of their points and those who don't answer questions correctly will be failed along with their 2 teammates." Sasuke thought, "What?" Sakura thought, "What did he say?" Naruto thought, HMPH, based on my academic skills, I sense that Sasuke and Sakura have not learned that I had a mask for the academy. Hibiki said, "The exam will last for 1 hour, begin." Naruto looked at the paper and smirked, "Well, now I guess I have to thank Mizuki for doing something useful. All of these questions were the same ones that he gave me, I can answer these without thinking." Sephiroth said, "Good thing for your photographic memory." Naruto said, "Plus even if I didn't know about the questions, Hibiki gave me an opening that I can cheat in the open. Sure, I lose 2 points, but he gave us exactly 5 chances to cheat. Plus we are freaking ninjas, we are supposed to be all about deception and hiding in the shadows." Cloud said, "But you are an honorable swordsman at heart." Naruto said, "I am a ninja swordsman with standards that are honorable. I will stab people in the back unless they attempt to do it first. Sasuke with his Sharingan will probably copy someone's pencil movements, and Sakura is a freaking bookworm, so she is fine." Naruto noticed that Gaara used his sand to blind a Chunin, and an eye made out of sand looked over his test. Hinata and Neji were using their Byakugan, Tenten used the mirrors to get the answers from her and Lee. He knew that Ino was a Yamanaka, and if he was correct, she would use Sakura or some bookworm to get the answers and transfer the answers to Choji. Shikamaru would use his brain to answer them and probably sleep for the rest of the hour. Some of the genin have been kicked out every 5 minutes, then one random genin from Suna said, "Do you have proof that I have cheated 5 times? Are you guys all watching?" Then one of the Chunin grabbed the boy and slammed him in the wall. "Listen, among the Chunin we are the elite that have assembled to watch over this exam. We have not missed a single thing you have done. You could say that this strength is our proof." So Hibiki thought, haha, we have gotten rid of the trash, now let's begin. It is about time. Hibiki said, "Okay, now it is time to start the 10th question. But before that, let's go over the added rules to the test." Naruto said to himself, "This guy is a natural, luckily I am not one to be intimidated by such words to make me twist my own mind up." Hibiki said, "Now these are the rules of desperation. Some building, it is sure boring without my team." Kakashi said. Asuma said, "Don't worry, you will be busy again soon." Kakashi said, "Why is that?" Asuma said, "I heard that proctor for the first phase was Ibiki Marino." Kakashi said, "Oh don't worry, I won't see them for a while." Asuma said, "Huh?" Kakashi said, "Uzumaki Naruto." Asuma said, "What about him?" Kakashi gave him a bingo book, turned to page 68. Asuma and the sensei of Team 8, Kurenai Yuhi, looked at page 68 and were shocked. Naruto Uzumaki, nickname. The Heartless Angel, known for his Kenjutsu prowess, B-rank ninja, reason. Killed Geto and over 100 mercenaries, defeated and killed Zabuza Mamachi, A-rank Nukenin of the Mist. Said after he kills and leaves, a black and white feather is left and one witness has seen that he had black and white wings." Kurenai said, "No way, he killed Zabuza Mamachi." Kakashi said, "My team will definitely pass with Naruto around." Kurenai said, "Who is Ibiki Marino?" Asuma said, "He is a pro at torture and interrogation, but he tends to focus on torturing the mind." Room 301 Ibiki said, first, you must decide that you want to take it or not. Sasu thought, choose to take it. Himari said, choose. What happens if we decide not to? Ibiki said, that is simple really, your points will be reduced to 0 and you will fail along with the 2 of your teammates. Random Genin shouted, what the hell does that supposed to mean? Then of course, we will take the final question. Ibiki gave them a sadistic smirk, now for the other rule, if you take the 10th question and get the wrong answer, that person will never be able to take this exam ever again. Hiba shouted, that is complete bullshit, there are guys that have taken this exam before. Ibiki laughed, you guys are unlucky this year, it is my rules, but I am giving you a way out if you quit now, you can try again next year. Now let's begin the 10th question, who wants to give up? Soon various genin began to quit and when the room was almost empty and Naruto felt that there were high levels of chakra there, he decided to take action. Naruto began to chuckle a bit and Ibiki looked at him, is something funny, Uzumaki. Naruto smiled, actually there is, I can't believe those idiots fell for that trick, it was so obvious. Himari said, what do you mean? Naruto said, Ibiki-san wanted us to cheat if you remember correctly in the academy, you get caught for cheating, you get a 0 and kicked out of the room, but he gave us 5 chances to cheat. Basically you could have cheated on one of the chunin here in the open and if you got all of your questions, you just have 8 points left over. Now as for the second rule to the 10th question, are you kidding? No one has authority to ban you from the exams, now if it was the cage, then you could take that into consideration. Are ninja supposed to cheat? We all use deception as a tool and hiding in the shadows for God's sake. Since when do ninja follow rules? Ibiki started to laugh, you are good, Uzumaki very good, thank you for keeping quiet. Naruto said, anytime. Sakura said, wait a minute, Naruto, you were in on this. Naruto said, if you mean that Ibiki told me about his plan, then no, I signal him during the exam since I figured it out after he said the cheating rule. I kept quiet because there were some weaklings during this exam, the ones that are left here have basically passed the first phase of the exam. You all that are sitting in the exam have been put into the shoes of a chunin. A chunin is a leader and must take risks that may endanger his own life, even with information in his head, there are also things that you can't avoid and must take action regardless if your life was in danger. I know since I first tried to convince Abusa Mamachi to join Konoha, he took the risk by fighting against me, even though he lost the first time. That is the ability of a chunin to be courageous and survive against any hardship. Ibiki said, spoken like a true leader, Naruto Uzumaki. I believe that you will go far in this exam. Naruto said, naturally, Ibiki-san. Then their eyes flickered to the side and at that moment, something dark passed through the window. Suddenly kunai flickered up to the ceiling and Ibiki thought, not this one, geez. The woman with gold eyes, a fishnet mesh bodysuit, an orange skirt with a tan trench coat and shin guards, stood in front of the banner, which said Anko Mitarashi, the sexy special Jonin. Anko said, this is no time for celebrating, you guys, I am the examiner for the second phase Anko Mitarashi, now let's go. Naruto thought, Anko Mitarashi, former apprentice of Orochimaru, one of the Sannin and an S-rank criminal. She is just like me, wears a mask, but her personality is a bit more eccentric than mine. Sakura muttered, this examiner reminds me of Naruto back at the academy. Ibiki peered from behind the banner, bad timing. Anko said, you are one to talk, you left 78 people in the exam. Ibiki said, blame this kid here. Anko looked at Naruto, who stared back and waved at her, yo, Mitarashi-san. She turned to Ibiki, he figured out the test. Ibiki said with a smirk, before I even started it. Anko grinned, that is interesting, but I can guarantee that this bunch will be depleted by half. Sakura said, half. Anko shivered, I am getting excited. I will explain everything once we change location, follow me. Training Ground 44. Anko said, welcome to the stage for the second test, Training Ground 44, also known as the Forest of Death. Naruto raised an eyebrow, really? It is not so scary to me. Anko said, a spirited one. Naruto tensed up and grabbed first Tsurugi to block her thrown kunai, then Anko appeared behind Naruto, ones like you always tend to die first. Naruto said, are you sure? You should check your racing heart. Anko looked down to see Naruto's kunai resting inches from her breast. Naruto said, spirited ones are always careful, you should never mess with me, Anko-san. Even an angel like me can become heartless once again. Anko said, you are the heartless angel. Naruto said, the same one. Anko regained her composure, well, then before we start the exam, you have to sign these papers, there will be deaths in this one, and if you don't sign these, it will be my responsibility. I am going to explain the test, then you can sign them. After that, each team will check in at that booth behind me. She handed Naruto the waiver forms, and he passed them out as she said, simply put, you will attempt the ultimate survival. First, I will explain the area. There are 44 gates exactly, and there is a forest, a river and a tower in the center. Each gate is exactly 10 kilometers away from each other. During the survival in here, you will be asked to complete a certain task. Using the weapons and jutsu that you have, you will compete in a no-rules scroll battle. You will fight over these two scrolls, heaven and earth. Since there are 26 teams here, half will get heaven and the other will get earth. To pass this test you must reach the tower with both scrolls. Sakura muttered, so half of the teams will definitely fail because of this requirement. Enko said, there also is a time limit, the test will last for 5 days. Ino shouted, 5 days. Choji said, what about food? Naruto chuckled, Choji, always thinking with his stomach. Enko said, you are on your own, the forest is filled with food, you just have to watch out for the man-eating beasts, poisonous plants, poisonous insects, etc. and 13 teams passing is not likely. As the days progressed, the time to rest is shorter and the distance to the goal is farther, plus the area is filled with enemies, you will not get that much sleep. So you can fail not only for losing the scroll, but the harshness of the course. She smiled, now let's talk about what will disqualify you first, those who don't make to the tower within the 120-hour time limit. Second, those who lose a teammate or have their teammate killed. As a rule, there is no quitting in the middle of the exam, so if you are going to be don't sign those papers. You will be in the forest for 5 days, and also you can't look inside the scroll until you make it to the tower. Shikamaru asked, what happens if you do? Enko said, why spoil the surprise when you can dare to find out yourselves? Chunin are asked to handle classified information, this is to test your trustworthiness. That is it, exchange your 3 forms for your scroll, then choose a gate to get ready for the start. Naruto smirked as he already signed his on the spot while Anko was explaining the rules. Anko said, oh, and a final word of advice, just don't die. Naruto said, that was 3. Enko smiled sweetly, quite the smartest, aren't you? Naruto said, I could say the same for you. He returned the same smile to her, and the genin were sweating at the pressure between the special jonin and the heartless angel. 30 minutes later, every team went through their specified gates. Team 10 Shikamaru said, okay, we are not going after Team 7, since they are the strongest team here, so we are going to hide and wait for an unsuspecting team. Team 8 let's go, Akamaru. Kiba shouted. Shino said, we need a plan. Kiba said, I got a plan, let's find Team 7 and take their scroll. Shino said, Kiba, that is illogical, there is no chance that we would survive against them, especially Team 7. Sasuke knows Kaiten Jutsu, effective against my bugs, Naruto could kick your ass according to the information, and he did confirm it, plus we could even ask Haku if it was true. Kiba said, that cute ice girl. What does she have to do with it? Shino said, she is the daughter of the deceased Zabuza Mamachi, and they did bring her here after they were done with their A-rank mission, meaning that Naruto was able to defeat Zabuza and probably Haku joined them on her father's request. Kiba said, fine, we go after some random team. Sound trio, so are we going after our mission? Zaku asked Osu. Osu said, we need to wait until they are weakened. If that information about that Naruto kid was correct, we would be killed without a minute's notice, and Sasuke is quite bothersome himself. Kin said, so we just follow them and wait until they are both weakened. The girl should not be a problem at all, she is the weakest of them. Zaku said, so if we capture her, then they will come after her. Osu said, and that is when we strike. Brass trio, the woman said, you guys know what to do. The men said, find those brats, right. The woman nodded as she let her freakishly long tongue out a bit. Team 7 Naruto said, I will be back, I got to go take care of business. The Jinchuriki went into the trees and found some bushes to relieve himself in, Ayan said, Naruto, someone is approaching your position. Naruto said, thanks for the heads up, Ayan-chan. Naruto let a kunai down his sleeve and as he finished and zipped up his pants, he turned to see an aimed in that struck him down in the base of his neck. Haha, gotcha. The ninja said. Then Naruto poofed into smoke and the ninja said, what? A bunshin. Naruto said from behind, obviously you thought I wouldn't have taken precautions. I learned at a young age to never let your guard down at all. He took the kunai by the blade and used the metal ring to knock the aimed in between the eyes. The aimed in fell to the floor and Naruto searched him to find 3 smoke bombs, a pack of solider pills, 3 blank scrolls and an earth scroll. Nice, we can go to the tower now. Naruto walked back out to his team and he said, let's go to the tower. Sasuke said, you found an earth scroll. Naruto lifted it up to show them, apparently, ninja from AIM are very stupid for not believing information, let's move. He tossed the scroll to Sakura and said, you hold that they obviously will believe that I will have the scrolls with me, not the weakest, no offense, Sakura. Sakura nodded and Naruto said, let's move quickly or someone might find us. Sasuke nodded and Team 7 moved through the trees toward the tower as they heard human screams. Outside, Anko said, it seems that the fun has begun. As they moved and Naruto realized that they were only 4 kilometers away from their destination, he felt a wind blow part him and it stung his cheek. Wind-natured chakra. Oh shit. Naruto shouted, Reflaga. The barrier protected both Sakura and Sasuke from the wind, and Naruto used first Tsurugi to shield him from the jutsu. When it stopped, he noticed a Kusa team was in front of him. Oh, you didn't blow away. Oh, well, you guys can play around somewhere, I will plan with them. The woman said. Naruto thought, something is off about this woman. The woman said, you guys work pretty fast, now how about we battle for that heaven scroll of yours with our lives on the line. The woman released killing intent and Sasuke along with Sakura were frozen stiff, but Naruto was still up. Oh? You overcame it with it? The woman said. Naruto said, Zabuza-sen was much better than yours, lady. Naruto took the time to punch his teammates to knock them out of their shock, I will apologize later. Right, now we need to focus on this woman, but be careful, I sent something off with her. The woman smirked to reveal a summoning tattoo and bit her thumb, Kuchius no Jutsu. She was suddenly on top of the snake and Naruto's eyes widened a bit, why are you here Orochimaru? The woman said, oh? You know who I am? Naruto said, you are the only one who can summon snakes besides Anko, and you are a S-rank criminal, care to explain why you are here? Are you after the Sharingan? Sasuke said, the Sharingan. Orochimaru chuckled as he ripped off the woman's face to reveal his own. His eyes were a slitted yellow, and his face was pale along with light purple marking near his eyes. You are pretty smart for a genin. Naruto said, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. 2 Bunshins appeared and Naruto said, Sakura, go with those Kage Bunshins, they will protect you to go to the tower meanwhile me and Sasuke will buy you some time. Sakura said, Naruto, are you insane? Orochimaru is an S-rank criminal and you defeated with Zabuza with some difficulty. Naruto said, does it matter? I rather fight him knowing that you are safe, hate to be harsh, but you are a burden and Sasuke is useful, now go we will be fine because I know Orochimaru can't kill Sasuke since he wants the Sharingan, that is his weakness. Orochimaru said, are you saying you would kill Sasuke if you lost? Naruto lifted first Tsurugi and aimed it at Sasuke's neck without hesitation, care to test me, Orochimaru? Orochimaru scowled, you will not touch my vessel, Naruto-kun. Naruto said, please don't call me that, I don't swing that way, I rather fuck the Kyuubi in the ass than hear you say my name like that. Inside, Anne blushed at Naruto's words and images of him dominating her in her ass were sounding quite pleasant. Sakura, go. The bubblegum-haired girl left reluctantly with the Bunshins and Orochimaru let her go, considering that killing her was too easy. Orochimaru opened his mouth and a snake popped out with a sword in his mouth. The snake Sannin drew it and Naruto eyed it with curiosity, the Kusanagi no Tsurugi. Orochimaru said as he held the double-edged guardless Jan, oh? You know of this weapon? Naruto said, yes, I hope you won't mind if I take it from you when you are dead. Orochimaru said, you got your own. Naruto said, right, but I think it would better in Anko-sen's hands since she is your former apprentice. Orochimaru said, it would be better in Sasuke's hands, or should I say my hands when I get his body to use as my vessel. Cloud said, he sounds like you, Sephiroth. Sephiroth said, HMPH, don't compare me to that weakling. Cloud quoted, what I want, Cloud, is to sail the cosmos with this planet as my vessel just like my mother did long ago. Sephiroth said, okay, that was creepy, Cloud. Cloud said, Sephiroth, you sounded just like that. Anne said, will you shut up? I am trying to watching Naruto-kun kick ass. Naruto gripped first Tsurugi and whispered, Sasuke, when I remove this sword from your throat, I want you to send a Gakakyu after me. Sasuke said, got it. Naruto moved toward Orochimaru and Sasuke immediately went through hand signs, Gakakyu no Jutsu. Orochimaru blocked Naruto's attack and Naruto grabbed Orochimaru's free hand with his own as the Gakakyu consumed them both. Orochimaru jumped away from the smoke, his clothes burned and bruises were on his face. Naruto, unlike him, used Mako to shield him from the fire. What was that power? It was not the Kyuubi's chakra. Orochimaru thought. Sasuke tried to sneak up behind Orochimaru to attack him with a kunai, the Sannin blocked it with Kusanagi, then Naruto launched his sword at Orochimaru, making the two separate. Orochimaru turned his attention on Naruto and the Kusanagi elongated to stab Naruto, but he blocked it with one of his blades. Orochimaru said, what? Where did that blade come from? Naruto said, Orochimaru, meet Ascalon. Orochimaru looked at the oddly looking blade, which was single-edged and had a gear-like mechanism as its tsuba. Naruto pushed up Ascalon up against the extended Kusanagi, while Sasuke shouted, Hausenkan no Jutsu. Orochimaru was forced to let go of the sword to avoid the fireballs, and then Naruto descended on Orochimaru, but Naruto noticed the slimy Sannin made a hand sign and a short flick. Naruto planted his feet forward to push off Orochimaru and avoided the Kusanagi that was coming behind him by a margin. He grabbed the hilt of first tsurugi and flipped to balance on the blade of it, looking at his right shoulder pad. There was a small cut on it, and Naruto thought, it is said that the Kusanagi no Tsurugi was able to cut through anything. Orochimaru thought, how is that cleaver is able to withstand the Kusanagi? It is supposed to break that thing in two, but now. How is that possible? Sasuke took a kunai in his mouth and took out 4 kunai in one hand, with a small windmill shuriken in his other hand. He threw it at Orochimaru, who dodged the kunai, and then Sasuke came around the tree to launch the shuriken. Orochimaru moved his head to the side to see that his hair was cut a bit, then Sasuke moved on the kunai in his mouth, and Orochimaru dodged with a smirk, what is wrong? Can't you aim right, Sasuke-kun? Orochimaru's eyes flickered to Naruto, who's still on the blade, why isn't he attacking by now unless it's a trap? Sasuke smirked as he yanked the strings back, making the kunai and shuriken come back to meet Orochimaru's head. Shit, this is the Sharingan triple windmill blade. Orochimaru caught the shuriken in his mouth, but it cut at his tongue and gums. Head too bad, Sasuke-kun. Sasuke said, you haven't seen anything yet, Kaiten. Ryuka no jutsu. Orochimaru's eyes widened as his face was burned by the jutsu, and then he began to laugh, so this is the power of the Sharingan, heh heh, now I know that I want you. Naruto moved next to Sasuke with first Tsurugi all connected in his hand, and then he smirked, I told you will not get Sasuke, since you are so fascinated by the Sharingan's ability, do you go after Itachi first? Orochimaru flinched and Naruto smirked as he said, it seems you did do it and got your ass kicked, so to get the Sharingan, you decided to go after the less experienced wielder of the Sharingan, Sasuke face it, Orochimaru, you are getting old, you will die by one of the next generation's hands soon. Orochimaru said, Naruto-kun, I could use someone like you on my side, why protect a village that shuns you doesn't acknowledge your abilities? Naruto said, now if I was naive back then, I would have taken that offer, but I don't need this village to acknowledge if I have one person that acknowledges me, that is all I need. That is the only light that I would need to pierce my own darkness. You on the other hand, would try to experiment on me like you did back then, or cast me away when I served my purpose. Now what kind of leader does that, You find children with abilities that interest you and at their weakest moment, you attacked and lured them into your lair. It won't happen to me or Sasuke. He charged at Orochimaru and attacked him again, Sasuke stood still as they fought. Orochimaru slashed at Naruto's arm, but Naruto parried it and swung at Orochimaru's torso. Orochimaru had to use effort to block his attack, the way he is swinging this clunker he will kill me if I am not careful. He thought. Orochimaru said, oh, I think it will consider the fact that he needs power to kill Itachi. Naruto said, your shortcut is not going to work no matter what Sasuke does to get power, it is not enough to kill Itachi. All the jutsu in the world will not kill him because Sasuke realizes on hatred. Hatred clouds your judgment and Itachi will use that against him. The only way Sasuke can defeat Itachi is through a bond of friendship. Orochimaru stabbed at Naruto, but Naruto jumped and stepped on the sword to charge at Orochimaru to try an overhead slash. Orochimaru moved and the tree was split in half. Orochimaru thought, holy shit, this boy is stronger than I thought. He is so lucky I can't possess him because of that fox sealed inside of him. Orochimaru laughed, you actually believe that bullshit, look what happened to the Yondaime, he got killed because of his stupidity for this village. Love will get a person killed, only hatred will let you survive, and I am the only one who can show that to Sasuke-kun. Naruto moved against Orochimaru with first Tsurugi in hand, and Orochimaru dodged to let Naruto hit the trunk, and smoke billowed up. Orochimaru sprang towards it only to see that Masamune pierced his shoulder. Naruto said, Masamune, meet Orochimaru. Orochimaru, meet Masamune, you two will be very well acquainted after this is over. Sasuke watched as Naruto fought against Orochimaru and thought, is that true? Will love actually make me strong? No, hatred is the only way I can truly become strong. I defeated Haku with only my hatred, my purpose to survive to kill Itachi, but Naruto he fought against Zabuza and he won. Suddenly as the Uchiha was so wrapped in his thoughts, the real Orochimaru grabbed Sasuke's head and bit his neck, the Uchiha screamed. Naruto was alerted to Sasuke to see the real Orochimaru there, and Naruto cursed, damn it. Orochimaru then drew a seal on Sasuke's forearm and whispered, I hope you like my gifts. The Kusanagi and the cursed seal of heaven are yours to wield. Come and seek me out if you want real power, Sasuke-kun. Naruto stabbed the earth with Masamune and cursed, damn it, I failed to notice the switch. Son of a bitch. Naruto turned to see a screaming Sasuke and knocked him out to spare him of the pain and stop him from alerting enemy ninja. Ayan said, that seal Naruto, it is infecting his chakra system. Naruto said, how do I stop it? Ayan said, I have a sealing method, but it is going to take half of your chakra to do it. Naruto said, fine, that should be enough, and I will use your chakra to let me get to the tower. Take over. Naruto relinquished control to Ayan, and his slitted blue-green eyes turned crimson red. Ayan said, okay, she flipped through hand signs and shouted, Akuten. Demonic seal of hell. Aan's pointer finger, middle finger and thumbnail lengthened to sharpen points and pierced the seal on Sasuke's neck. The unconscious Uchiha cringed in pain, and Aan used Naruto's chakra to make a seal surround the mark. Strange markings surrounded the seal, and Sasuke's face calmed down. Then Naruto got control back and knelt to the ground, huffing and puffing. Suddenly Naruto looked up to see Zaku, Kin and Dosu and said, "If you want the scroll, you can't have it." Dosu chuckled, "We don't want your scroll, merely the Uchiha's life. Wake him up so we can fight him." Naruto said, "Unfortunately that is not going to happen." Zaku lifted up his arm and pointed at Naruto, "Then you can die first, Zankyuha." Naruto muttered, "Reflect." The sound wave bounced off the barrier and went back to the user. The sound trio jumped away from the blast and noticed that Naruto was gone. "Damn, Zaku, we had him," Kin said, shouting at her teammate. Zaku said, "Shut up and let's follow them before they reach the tower. If they do, we wouldn't be able to complete our mission and Orochimaru-sama will kill us." The sound trio moved instantly and saw Naruto with Sasuke on his back ahead of them. Zaku was about to hit them with his Zankyuha, but Dosu said, "Zaku, let Kin handle this." Kin threw Senbon at Naruto and Sasuke, but the Jinchuriki shouted, "Reflect." The barrier appeared and made the Senbon bounce back to them, then Naruto said, "You three are a nuisance, stop." Instantly a black clock appeared in front of the sound trio, and they were paralyzed. Naruto said, "That little technique should stop you from 15 minutes, enough time to get to the tower. Have fun." Naruto disappeared from sight and the sound trio were cursing Naruto, well, mostly Zaku. Our Sakura was waiting patiently and then she saw Naruto with Sasuke. Sakura said, "Sasuke, what happened?" Naruto said, "Orochimaru managed to bite Sasuke and put some weird mark on his neck, but he should be fine for now. He just need to rest. Do you have the earth scroll?" Sakura nodded and held it out to show Naruto. The Jinchuriki replied, "Good, now we can open them." Sakura said, "Wait, how do I know that you are the real Naruto?" Naruto summoned Masamune, "Does this satisfy you, Sakura?" Sakura nodded, "Naruto." Naruto said, "Yes." Sakura said, "Back there, did you really mean what you said when you said that you would kill Sasuke in order to keep him away from Orochimaru?" Naruto said, "Sakura, Orochimaru with a Sharingan would be dangerous and would endanger the village. If I had to prevent 1,000 lives to sacrifice Sasuke's, I will do it despite your attachment to him. Like I said, I won't kill him unless there is no other way to avoid it." Sakura said, "But Sasuke is your teammate." Naruto said, "Yes, he is, but he knows the consequences of being a ninja. If it just so happened that I had to kill him, I would take up his dream for the both of us. Now let's open the scrolls." Sakura took the earth scroll while Naruto took the heaven scroll and they both opened the scroll to see the kanji for human. Naruto said, "It is a summoning scroll, quickly drop it." They threw the scrolls in a corner and Naruto grasped first Tsurugi's hilt while Sakura took out a kunai and slid into a guard position. The smoke cleared to reveal Iruka and he said, "Long time no see, guys." Naruto relaxed a bit and Sakura said, "Iruka-sensei." Iruka said, "Looks like that you guys had a bit of trouble." Sakura said, "What were you doing here?" Iruka said, "It was set up so that the Chunins would meet up with the test takers and I was allowed to greet you guys are early. To celebrate your passing, I could treat you to ramen." Naruto said, "Thanks, seeing that we have 4 days to pass the time, but Iruka-sensei." Iruka said, "Yes." Naruto said, "If we were to open the scroll ahead of schedule, what would you do?" Iruka said, "I would have to put you in a state of unconsciousness by that time." Naruto smirked, "You mean you would have put 2 of us unconscious?" Iruka said, "What do you mean?" Naruto said, "You have a bingo book?" Iruka nodded and Naruto said, "Turn to page 68. Iruka did so and looked at Naruto in shock, already?" Naruto nodded and Sakura said, "What?" Iruka gave the book to Sakura and Sakura was shocked as well. There was Naruto Uzumaki's impassive face and he was ranked a B rank ninja. Sakura said, "Wait, you have wings?" Naruto said, "Oh, right, I forgot to tell you guys that I have a Kekkei Genkai." Naruto released his wings in a flourish, white and black feathers falling from his wings. "This is how I did an aerial battle with Zabuza. I can basically fly and the rest of my Kekkei Genkai allows me to use that strange chakra. I called it Mako." Sakura said, "Wow." Iruka said, "How come you never show this?" Naruto said, "I want to keep it a secret. I thought the mist would provide the cover, but I guess it didn't." Iruka thought, "Naruto, you just keep on surprising me every time." The Chunin said, "Have you figured out the meaning on this wall?" Naruto said, "Yeah, the heaven represents the mind and earth represents the body. For example, if you were like Sakura, who has a lot of heaven, then she must have earth, meaning she must train hard to get stronger. If you are like Kiba, who has earth but hardly heaven, then he must gain knowledge." The blank in the last sentence, "You just put your own name in. These rules will guide Naruto's extremes." Iruka said, "Correct, now just be careful in the 3rd test." Naruto said, "Don't worry, Iruka-sensei, we will be fine, we are stronger than before, even Sakura has grown a lot." Sakura blushed at Naruto's comment and Iruka said, "Right, sorry, well, then get some rest and good luck in the third test." Naruto nodded and he carried Sasuke and Sakura to a nearby room to rest for a while. What if Naruto was fallen angel in Final Fantasy end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.